Welcome back to the best division in football with Awthentik and the Beard, presented by All or Nothing Studios. What's up, team? Thanks for tuning in to our Tuesday recap show. You can see the chat's already popping. Love to see everybody in there. NFC East, beautiful weekend. We went 3-1 overall. Don't know if you fellow NFC East fans know this. This guarantees us we're not going to be the worst division of all time. Even if the NFC East loses out all the rest of their out-of-division games, we're still going to be a half game ahead of the 2008 NFC West. So that Philadelphia tie from early in the season that we were laughing about, that might save us from this horrible infamy that we're not going to have. So we can thank Philadelphia for that. Let's bring in the fellas. Awthentik, I said 3-1. We know where that one comes from. Tough weekend for your Giants. We're going to get into it. How you doing tonight, buddy? Stussy rocking hard.
Hey, I'm doing pretty crappy, man. This week of football was about as worse as it could possibly be. And I mean, the Giants just let me down this week, man. It's been a slow week again. Anytime you're waiting on a game like that for that long, it tends to not go your way. So, man, I'm hoping to just get past this week somehow, man, and keep football moving. You know what I'm saying?
Got to keep it moving. I mean, that's how 2020 is going. You just got to keep it moving day to day, 24 hours at a time.
Facts. Big facts, bro. I'm trying my best, man. It's been a tough week. Shout out to my man Bad Dog, though, who literally after the game around 10 o'clock went live. A lot of the folks in the chat was like, yo, bring Awthentik on. And Bad Dog was like, man, I'll bring Awthentik on. So I went on there. We had a little bit of a therapy session, I must say, man. And my therapist, Mr. Bad Dog himself, he got me back in line, man. So I'm doing better than I was after the game. The Beard to tell you, it was getting crazy in here during that game. That was a major letdown, man.
Bad Dog's got a good way of bringing Giants fans, back down to level-headed thinking, I feel like. He's always been that kind of guy. He gets hate for it, too, but he's always been that guy. The Beard, man, your shirt's looking wavy. How you doing today? You're feeling great, first place.
What? Yeah, man. It is. I mean, look, listen. In reality, you really got to sit back. You see I did that on a beat drop, right?
Yeah.
Like, all right. So you really got to think about it like this. Like, 2020 has been crazy. Yes, we know. But going into this season for the Washington football team, you're coming off a 3-13 season, right? COVID hits. Darius Geis is gone, gets arrested. Cody Lattimore issues, right? You start Dwayne Haskins. You bench Dwayne Haskins 4 games into the season. Ron Rivera's got cancer. Kyle Allen comes in, breaks his leg. Alex Smith comes back, ain't play. I never thought he was going to play again. He's just starting quarterback. I mean,
Kyle Allen existed for a second.
Bull.
So it's just like to think about everything that has happened to this. And then you got the name change. You got the sexual assault allegation case hanging over. You got the minority ownership trying to sell their shares. All of this is happening. And somehow, some way, we're at the end of week 14 in first place in the NFC East. Like, if you would have told me that all of that happened and this is where we would be, I'd say you're as crazy as I am.
This sound like me last week, don't it?
We're not front runners, though, the Beard, man. Think about, whenever we make the playoffs, usually something crazy has to happen, like a 5-game win.
Oh, for sure. We're not front runners.
The RG3 years was weird. Like, his knee was already done by the time we got there. It was only a matter of time.
But considering all of that, considering all of that to be where we are right now is absolutely amazing. And you know what? I tweeted immediately after the game. I said, look, we got a lot of work to do. A win is a win, but we got a lot of work to do. Okay? So
on one side of the football.
Yeah. Definitely more so than anything else. So let me take this time to say some hellos to all the beautiful and lovely people that are joining us in the Chizat right now. Shout out to everybody watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, all of the above. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up.
Had to slow it down through the tunnel.
Y'all know I be speaking that cursive sometimes when I get a little excited. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Let everybody in the world of YouTube universe know that we are live and popping. So, first person to get a shout out this evening is going to be Lucas. Says it's going to be 2 very happy and 1 not so happy.
Yo, you just reminded me of some. Right? I've been watching this Pluto channel that shows like old shows, game shows from the 70s, and I was looking at some Price is Right from when Bob Barker was like $58.60, and you just reminded me of some super prices right vibes. Come on down.
Come on down.
First contestant to get a shout out. Come on down. Authentic in the Beard Show.
And Sunday. Hello,
Hey,
Sunday.
what's up, Sunday? How you living?
Roman is in the building. What's going on, Roman?
Man, we got squad in the building, man. Let's go. What's up, Roman?
Waterfly. Shout out to Waterfly. I see Waterfly. Waterfly is kind of like Scotty Boomz. I just see them randomly in like all these different chats. I saw Scotty Boomz and Waterfly on Tommy and Tracy's show on Sunday night. I saw both of y'all in the chat that night.
I usually go check them out. I don't always type in the chat though because I'm going to sleep. So it's just like a quick check-in, say what's up, and then I'm out.
But Waterfly says hot buffalo sauce, OJ, and vodka. That sounds like Savannah's on a Sunday.
That does sound like some throwback party in the Savannahs.
Buffalo sauce with the wings or just the sauce?
I don't know. Maybe that's like some sort of like special Bloody Mary.
I'm more of a, put the buffalo sauce as a dip. I don't really like the buffalo.
Yeah,
I don't like the drenched
I don't
wings.
like any sauce on. I like to be in control of my sauce.
A naked wing is the way to go.
Too much sauce.
Naked wing, not
Shout
sauce.
out to Sir Knock in the building. What's going on, Tank? How you doing, brother?
What's up, fam? What's up? What's up?
Papa Homewood's in the building.
Hey,
Yes,
Pop's
sir.
in the building.
Great.
And you got to get the sound effect ready for the next shout out.
Oh, I think I remember where that one is.
Tough game for the boy Glock, man.
Oh man, and that was a good one, Glock. That might have been the game of the year so far. I really enjoyed that game, man. That was a good back and forth football.
That was a good game for the Browns too. Even though they lost, they shot out. They
Definitely showed that they might be a little bit better than most of us have thought that they were. And J-Mo.
Down two touchdowns, man. Down 2 touchdowns though. My man J-Mo, what's up, fam? How you living?
J-Mo in the building.
In the building.
Joel's in the building. What's going on, Joel?
Beard gang in the building. What's up, fam? How you living, Joel?
And the one, the only, Nick the Wick.
Hey, Nick, what's good, fam?
He said double loss this weekend. Fantasy and the GM.
Hey, I'm right there with you. We talked about that on Twitter, man. I lost in my fantasy game too, man. It's been a tough week. Everybody in the NFC East won their game except my Giants. Lost in fantasy football. It's been bad, man.
I put up 200 points in the first round of the playoffs, so I am moving on to
feeling good, feeling
round.
great.
How much did your opponent put up?
170, 140.
Oh, that's not that league. No, yeah, that's right. That's the Cali league. You put up 200.
If you put up 140, you're feeling good, and then to see you drop a 200 burger, that's rough. That's a tough first week.
With Derek Carr as my quarterback. And then I went, and then I put up.
They're gonna do.
And then I put up 170 something in my other fantasy playoff.
The Beard saying stuff like he's like, with Derek Carr as my quarterback. Ooh, he like waiting on the reaction. He's just getting nothing. We need to add some crickets to the board. We need some crickets to the board now.
You're gonna have so many things to add to that sound. You're not gonna know which is which.
With Derek Carr at quarterback.
What's going on, Joseph in the building? What's up?
Hey, Joseph in the building, Giants Nation, one time.
And my opponents in the semifinal of the fantasy playoffs, Mr. PJ Torres. Shout out to PJ. We gotta send some love. Everybody in the chat, send some love to PJ. He broke his collarbone. We want to send some love to PJ.
Messing
Get
around
better,
with that motorized one wheel, man. Yeah. So he's not having the greatest week either. At least he won his fantasy.
So everybody send some love to PJ's way, you know what I'm saying, as he recovers from the broken collarbone. Jay Jean in the building. What's going on, Jay Jean?
What's up, Jay Jean? How you living, man? How you living?
Oh, my chat.
I was gonna say, man, you've been missing and skipping some. I see some other people up in here, man. Shout out my man Roldy.
That's where I was going next. But the chat did the quick jump. Gret's in the building, and then our own are even better than Adam Schefter. Marjorie's in the building.
What's up, Marjorie?
Roldy.
Hey, Gretzel's literally in the building.
Yeah.
You like that? Literally in the building.
Roldy here. David's in the building. What's going on, David? How you doing?
Definitely right about the Giants fans getting way, way up when we win them games, and then we just go way down. Everybody's like, fire everybody. That's all I was seeing on Twitter. Fire Garrett. Get rid of the quarterback. Defensive line doesn't know what they're doing. Everything's overhyped. We need another cornerback.
You know,
we need some wide
how
receivers.
fans be, man. Noah Rivera in the building.
What's up, fam? What's up?
Kalen Dragon 56.
I know, Kalen. It was tough, fam.
Mr. Matt Emery.
Hey, Matt Emery. I didn't see the predictions this week, but great win for the Washington football team this week.
Justin's in the building.
Hey, Justin, what's up, fam? I'm a Giants fan, but if Washington makes the playoffs, I didn't see it, but okay.
If anybody in the NFC East makes the playoffs and we don't make it, I root for them. I'm definitely rooting for the Giants.
Oh, facts.
And my girlfriend Josie, who Waterfly was in my live sale last night on the Over the Years YouTube channel, and he was like, I see you didn't make this one up. She's real.
She's real.
Bluegrass Picker, what's going on, brother? Anthony, thank you for joining us
what's
as
up,
always.
Anthony? Faithful, what's up, fam?
Max Webster.
What's up, Max?
And the always lovely, amazing, talented Layla Capri. About to drop something new on everybody, too.
I saw that. I'm waiting on that. I definitely want to check that out.
So make sure.
On every platform. Layla Capri is super professional, so you can make sure that's going to be everywhere it needs to be.
Nerd Cage Live.
Oh, that's my dude, Nerd Cage Live, Giants fan. I popped into his stream last week, man. They was talking Spider-Man, and I was talking about the Chaz French record and doing the theme for that and all that. He's got a dope channel, man, so make sure you go over there and you sub up. And I love that New York Giants Wu-Tang hat he got, man. That
oh,
fire.
I did. He was he popped on, what was that, the Entertainers channel that one time?
He's been on Entertainers a couple times. Yep.
Yeah, I saw him. I remember that hat.
Okay, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Johan Chen.
What's up, Johan? He said, hey, Tim said Johan Chen like he ain't know who that was though, right?
Nah. You know, I had to throw the chin in. You know what I'm saying? I had to mix it up a little bit. You know.
What up, Johan? How you living?
I never know how I'm gonna say hello to you people in the chat. It just rolled off the tongue. I'm over here freestyling right now. You know what I'm saying?
Leon right now. He wants the Errol Spence money. I'm about to win him. If he fights Bud Crawford, I'm gonna bet Johan a lot of money he's gonna lose.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one.
Hey, and we gotta give big shout outs to Word.
Big time. What's up, Word?
Gang,
you know it. Gang in the building, man. What's up, fam?
Word is in the building. All right. If I didn't get to you, hello anyways. We love you. We love the support. Thank you for joining us as always.
Don't
forget to hit that thumbs up because we about to get popping.
Hey, get to this one real quick. What you think about this one real quick before we get started?
If Washington gets a franchise quarterback, you have a team that's going to compete in the division alongside my Giants.
You like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with you on that.
I texted my boy a couple days ago. I said, if we had Matt Stafford right now, we might make a run of the playoffs.
Street Scores were saying if y'all had Matt Stafford, y'all would be a Super Bowl contender right now.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean,
and he said Derek Carr and a few others. He named a few other quarterbacks. He definitely thinks Washington needs a new quarterback, like immediately. He wants to draft a new quarterback and have Alex Smith start next year, and then second year the rookie quarterback will come in.
Max Webster, don't worry. Soon enough.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, soon enough, bro. Soon enough. Appreciate that, though.
Hey, look who decided to show up and show some love for the Washington football team.
You know it's a good week in Washington when you see Ronald Armstrong pull up in the chat.
My
What's
man,
up, fam?
what's
How you
going
living, man?
on, brother?
Big win this week, bro. Big win.
They got to start coming out the woodworks now. I mean, come on.
I mean, Authentic and the beer kind of popping, right, Scotty? We doing our thing out here.
We got 4 recaps we're going to talk about. Obviously, all 4 NFC East teams. We're going to start from the bottom. We're going to work our way up to the top. The last place Cowboys, they did pull out a victory. They rolled the Cincinnati Bengals 30-7. Andy Dalton, ex-Bengal, he's got a lot of their records over there. 185 pass yards, 2 touchdowns. The Bungles, that's what we got to call them this week, did not come out ready to play in this football game. Authentic loves to talk about the Cowboys not coming out on top, scoring early, and putting themselves in good positions. The Bengals made it really easy. They fumbled on the first 3 possessions they had, giving the ball away to the Cowboys, including a 78-yard return by Aldon Smith, who's been balling out for the Cowboys all year. So the Cowboys got blessed right there just playing the Bengals. They did get the victory. We got to give them some love. But the Bengals proved the age-old adage, turnovers are the game when it comes to football. They had more total yards in the offense than the Cowboys, better time possession, less penalties, and a better third down efficiency percentage, yet they lost by 3 scores. So it just shows you got to hold on to the football. Another quiet game from Zeke, 12 carries, 48 yards. Authentic, this is my question for you. Cowboys were up early in this game. Like you've talked about them not getting enough carries to Zeke because they're not in position to do it. This seems like the game you would want to feed the guy the rock because they didn't, get that margin until the very end of the game. It was only a 2-score game for most of it. You think you'd want to feed your big back, but he didn't. He got 1 more carry than Pollard. Is that them just kind of saying it's a lost season? We're not going to wear down the tread and the tires anymore, or is this really how they're looking for the offense moving forward?
I'd say it's a little bit of both, but I don't think that this team is giving up on Ezekiel Elliott. You got to think about it, too. In this game, the time of possession, the Bengals ruled in time of possession by 10 minutes. So, I mean, Cowboys didn't really have the ball that much, and statistically, the Bengals should have been more in this game, but, you know, starting the game off with 3 fumbles like that, and the third fumble was ridiculous by that wide receiver. I had his name here. Alex Erickson.
Oh,
he took the reverse, and he got popped. The ball went up in the air. I don't know if he was concussed, but he literally just looked at the fumble just like, yo, it was terrible, yo. And, I mean, you basically just spotting the Cowboys 17 points here, man. The Bengals offense, I mean, it's awful without Joe Burrow. I mean, I think we see his stock in this league. He should be a quarterback that should be great for years to come, pending he could come back off that injury, because they have literally 180'd. I mean, this team was on the cusp of getting wins, and now they're just getting blown out. And the Bengals secondary, man, they played soft all day. They gave Andy Dalton everything up front. Andy Dalton had a pretty clean day here, man. What was it, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns. These are the kind of games that Giants fans want to see Daniel Jones win, where you just really just game manage. As far as Ezekiel Elliott goes here now, you know, I talk about the carries being limited because of time of possession, but the other thing I got to bring up is Tony Pollard, man. He looks like a star that he could be in this league, literally. I mean, breaking off big runs. I think that the Cowboys are going to have a big decision to make here, and I think they might be regretting paying Zeke that bag. You know, I think with what was happening in the offseason, things were, you know, just at the point where they were like, let's put some insurance on this season. And I think that Ezekiel Elliott was the insurance. But now you're looking at a guy who first 8 games was leading the league in fumbles, not really looking like the same old Zeke. But we do got to talk about this offensive line, because I think everybody gets a grade in this game for the Cowboys, especially this defense. They played fantastic. But the offensive line, man, they gave up 2 sacks against a defense that hadn't registered 1 in the last 3 weeks. Cincinnati Bengals don't get pressure. And we saw a little bit of pressure on his quarterback. They also couldn't open up holes for Zeke or Pollard really all day. And I think that the Cowboys just won this game on the defense's back, which is the most surprising thing I've said all year. Like, straight up.
In the second quarter, each team only had like 1 possession, because they each had a drive that lasted 8.5 minutes. Like, one was 8.5 minutes, the other one was like 6 minutes, and they only had 1 possession each. So the Bengals, like you said, didn't have a chance to come back. And the Cowboys really weren't doing anything with the possessions they had either. It was an ugly game.
Yeah, and the Bengals running game, I mean, they struggled. I mean, I saw P. Ryan getting more carries, man, and it was just like,
boy, right? Bernard fumbled on like his first carry or something.
Oh yeah, the whole Bernard experiment did not work. Scotty Boomz said it. He was like, "Look, if Bernard don't do it this week, we're gonna drop it for now, for forever."
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yeah, there's no more Bernard dog.
But I do think that they equaled out in rushing yards, right? Yeah, both teams rushed for 101 yards. So we were talking about this on Tuesday about how Dallas Cowboys had the worst rush defense in the league. The Bengals got the 31st worst rush defense in the league. So that game kind of looked like it. It surprised me that both teams didn't go to the run more, but maybe the early turnovers, the 17 points spotted by the Bengals there, kind of let the Cowboys just cruise to a victory.
Yeah, the beard. I mean, Cowboys won decisively. When you look at the score, they didn't look great. They looked pretty good. Jalen Smith made a couple boneheaded plays. There's one that's on Twitter floating around. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. He rushes the wrong gap. It's a run play up the middle. Jalen Smith, linebacker for the Cowboys, hits the wrong gap. When he realizes he's in the wrong gap, he tries to spin move out of it to the sideline, pretty much completely away from the play. I'm going to have to go and put that to you guys.
I got to see that. You got to tag me in that.
But the beard, does this win tell you anything about the Cowboys? Do they look better to you, or is this team that's not going to win a lot? Their schedule is okay. They got the Eagles, Giants, and then one other winnable, San Fran, I believe. So they got some games they can win.
And look, all 3 of those games look a little different now after this week. You know? But the thing is this the Bengals, and this is a bad Bengals. It's crazy how one player, and I guess it's really not that crazy, because the Cowboys should understand. I mean, they weren't necessarily winning before Dak got hurt, but they were playing better football, offensively at least, you know. But like, without Joe Burrow, the Bengals were competitive in almost every single game that they lost this year when Joe Burrow was playing quarterback.
And Mixon, can't forget Mixon.
And Joe Mixon too,
can't
for
forget
sure.
Joe Mixon. Mm-hmm.
And then
a lot about him, you know what I mean?
So you know, the Cowboys should, if the Cowboys went in and lost to this Bengals team. Oh, man. I still think, look, you can't really determine how the Cowboys are going to be until they play another team, not the Bengals. I do think that they did.
Mean that you're saying the win does not mean that much about the
It
Cowboys.
Doesn't mean anything to me.
I agree.
No, at all. Because
I'm with you, man. I'm with you on that too.
Yeah, I mean, they did what they were supposed to do, and the thing is also is, like Cooper and that wide receiving core has played as good as they possibly can considering the situation. The biggest concern for me for Dallas outside of their defense is that run game. I mean, and you guys talked about it. They spent a lot. I'm really concerned about everything that the Cowboys have done, because the way that they have started spending their money in the order in which they started spending it in is very concerning, because, you had the Zeke situation, you had the Cooper situation, you got the Prescott situation, right? I think they were kind of like backwards on the way that they did all of that. And they're going to be hurting.
Great teams don't invest huge money at wide receiver 1 and running back. They just
and I don't mind investing in the wide receiver. I think that you have to realize that right now, in the way that the league is, the direction in which the league is moving, I'd say 90% of the teams are content with not paying their running back.
Yeah.
I mean, look at James Robinson. He's an undrafted free agent signing, this year by the Jacksonville Jaguars, okay? He probably wasn't even going to play running back for them at all, but then they had the situation with Fournette, and then they traded Fournette, and then the other two guys had COVID, and he just jumped in and never looked back. There's only 3 running backs in the National Football League that have over 1,000 yards right now. Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, and James Robinson.
And I'll tell you right now, Henry is the only one, maybe the only great running back in the league where you can look at his contract and be like, yep, that's a good contract.
Yeah.
There's so many bad running back contracts out there right now. There's dead money that teams are still paying for players that don't even play for them that are running backs. I mean,
see, and I don't think that the Cowboys contract with Ezekiel Elliott is necessarily a bad contract, but they were put into a terrible position because both of them was balling out. When Dak is balling out and Zeke is balling out, you got to figure out who we're going to pay. I think that the Giants are going to run into this problem. Everybody wants Daniel Jones to play better, right? And let's just say Daniel Jones starts playing better and Saquon Barkley were to come back and play to his caliber. The Giants are going to have that same issue. They're going to figure out, do we invest this money in the quarterback? Do we invest it in the running back? Do we pick one? Do we pick both? Because if you pick both, you're going to put yourself into a lot of problems,
And that's when you draft them high overall, because, Saquon and Zeke are both top 6 overall picks. So as soon as you pick that guy up that high, he's going to get paid a lot of money. He's already in the top third of running backs in football. And then when his contract comes up, he's obviously going to want to make more money than he was making before, especially if he did well.
And
so
you get 5. Is it 5 or 4 years on the rookie deal?
There's an option, I think, for the 4th.
Four and an option for 5th?
Quarterbacks is 4 and a 5th. I think quarterbacks is the extra one. I could be wrong.
I want to say it's 4.
We talked about this before, too, and I don't even know.
Because I know a lot of people talking about it with Daniel Jones. It's his second year, so they know that going into next year, he's probably going to be the quarterback, but that's really going to be the make or break year for him.
And also, you have to remember this too, is that
Brody says 4, option with a 5th.
It's a bad negotiation on the Cowboys' part. Because
how so? The money wise, the years, what don't you like about it?
I mean, the whole thing, like, just not even just the money for sure, the years for sure, but also just the way that it went down. Like, Zeke literally he ran a muscle on them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as a running back,
which he probably would have got the short end of the stick had he not did that.
For sure. But if I'm the Cowboys, I'll be looking at, okay, I have Dak. And I'm going to have to give Dak the money. And if you're already set on giving Cooper the money, I look at Pollard and I look at Zeke and I'm like, why do I have to give Zeke all this money?
In hindsight, yeah. But at the beginning of the year, Cowboys probably think they can compete.
True.
And that's where it goes wrong. I think they think they can compete. So, let's spend the money and try to get to a Super Bowl. The drafting of CeeDee Lamb looked like the greatest draft pick in the beginning of the year. And then Dak Prescott goes down. I thought that the Cowboys were going to be able to rally behind that team, even though they had lost a bunch of games early, scoring a lot of points. I thought eventually they would figure out a way to get that defense together and make a run to win the division. But then you get Dak Prescott gets hurt. I want to say that was week 4.
And the
week
defense
5,
came
maybe
together a little bit, but it's like at that point now you got Andy Dalton and Ben DiNucci, so it's like season's over.
It's tough, yeah. And And I got to commend Andy Dalton a little bit. I mean, I thought he was completely cooked, but he's been playing some decent football. But I don't know if that's, schedule dependent because the Bengals and the Vikings are the two teams that he gets his wins against. So I'm like,
Right. And then you got to take that in consideration.
Hey, Cop Pizzle in here hating on Scotty already.
Dude, man, I want to get one of those belts, bro. I'm trying to get one of these belts.
He said that you're his rival now.
Did you see his tweet?
Can I get? No, what?
Okay, so Cop Pizzle says, he said Scotty Boomz is my rival. He was like, I don't know why.
So what I want to talk to you Giants fans about. When I see Daniel Jones out there, I don't see a quarterback that can win football games. All I see is someone who's trying to be a quarterback that can win football games. I don't know. Let me tell you what.
Scotty had that joint in the bag, though. That boy Woody, man.
Scott, I love you, man. Like you're one of the best out there, bro. Big time.
Yeah, Cop is the go, man. Shout out to Cop Pizzle one time in the chat. Yo, y'all got me wilding here.
Give me a real quick. We got to get off these Cowboys, though. I don't want to talk too much more about
it. You're right.
We're going to do a percentage. What, after this win, which we're saying is not meaning a lot in the whole scheme of their season, what percentage you give the Cowboys to make a playoff run this year? Because they're not out of it, technically. Awthentik, start with you, buddy.
Damn it. I'm going to say they have... I think Washington's playing too well right now behind that defense, and I think the Giants are right behind them. So I'm going to say the Cowboys have a 20% chance.
That's better than I would have thought with what you said beforehand. Like 0.
I figured like 4 teams. If I were to cut the slices even, let me go a little bit under that because I feel like Philly's kind of making their way out.
All right, the beard. Give me some.
I'm going to give them a 2.37% chance of making the playoffs.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
2.37% chance.
2.3 down to the 3.7.
I see Jane Jean is on the same page I'm on with a 2.5.
There's got to be. Wait a minute. There's got to be a formula behind that number, right? Or that just came out of here.
No. That just roll off. Okay. You know me. I'm like
winging it.
I told y'all I'm like Goodwill Hunting.
No, you show your work sometimes. Awthentik just told me a minute ago. He's like, well, 4 teams divided by 4, take a little bit off that, 20%. You're going to give me something behind the 2.37. I don't know why I wrote that down.
Hey, yo, Scotty.
I'm going to go a little lower. I'm going 0% chance.
0.
The Cowboys are the worst team right now. Jalen Hurts injected some life in the Eagles. We'll talk about that in a second. But I think the Cowboys are the worst team in the division. Yeah, 0% chance.
I ain't mad at you for that. I ain't going to lie. I ain't mad at you for that. I thought the Cowboys was cooked last week. I
know you hate the zeros, though, Awthentik. I know you're like, don't never say never.
Don't count them out.
Right. I'm saying 0. They're dead.
I give them like non-alcoholic beer alcohol percentage.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Gold duels. Some of them Jones be like 0.003.
Oh, they do have a little bit in them sometimes, though?
Yeah, it's like I think so. And then
he made that up.
I'm pretty sure some of them might be like riding that line of like a 0.003.
Yo, look, JG said Cowboys fans be like, so y'all saying there's a chance.
Like they're like blowing a breathalyzer. That's the percentage chances that Dallas has right now.
Who's driving the car?
Right. Breathalyzers, you started a decent number and then it just keeps like going up and up.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you're gonna end up at. It's like a roll of the dice. All right, let's go to the next one. Talking about how the Philadelphia Eagles Jalen Hurts era has officially started. Started off with a bang. The upset of the weekend, they took down the New Orleans Saints 24-21. Hurts had a great game against an elite Saints defense, 167 pass yards. He had a touchdown. On the ground is where he did a lot of his damage, though. 106 rushing yards. A stat line that's kind of got to give some Philly fans, and I know Awthentik, some shades of Randall Cunningham. That's what he looked like to me out there. The kid was balling out of control. We talked about the Saints. They were on a 50-game streak of not allowing a 100-yard rusher. Well, that's broken because, like I said, Hurts went for 106. Also, Eagles running back Miles Sanders. Don't know if you guys know this. His nickname's Booby. So I'm going to call him Booby from now on. Booby Sanders had probably his best game of the year. 150 rushing yards, 115, 2 touchdowns, only 14 carries. So we talked about the Saints, 50 games, not giving up a single 100-yard rusher. They gave up 2. They hadn't done that in 40 years. So the Eagles coming out and showing out. Troubling trend for the Saints. 4th straight game now that Alvin Kamara has not had 100 scrimmage yards. But a silver lining to take out of it, Taysom Hill did target him 10 times in the passing game, which was more than he's done in the last 3 games combined. So we're starting to look for him in that aspect, and we know Kamara's at his best when he's running it and receiving it on an equal basis. Beard, we talked last Thursday about Jalen Hurts being tossed to the Wolves against the Saints defense. He exceeded all the expectations. With Doug Peterson's job maybe on the line in Philadelphia, can you see the Eagles adopting an offense a la the Ravens or Patriots, really run heavy quarterback, and then Miles Sanders back there to get a couple wins, save this man's job?
Saving his job is a tall task. I'll tell you that much. I had spoke about this previously in the season of Awthentik and the Beard, which airs every Tuesday and Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That head coaches do this a lot, where they, you feel like your job is on the line, right? So you have that backup quarterback is kind of like your life vest. It's like, the lifeboat. It's your last chance. It's your Hail Mary to save your job, because they're, especially when they're young, and in this case a rookie, because you can be like, all right, I've made the change to quarterback. Now you have to like judge what I'm doing based on this rookie quarterback. So now if I can get things going with the rookie quarterback, then ownership and general manager might look at me like, okay, maybe just what he needed was the change of quarterback. The problem is that
a la Pat Shurmur.
Yes. Jay Gruden.
He forgot about that guy.
Yeah, so you see it done a lot. And the thing is that I don't know if it saves his job, because they still have the Carson Wentz cloud above their heads. That's not going to go away. Like, you can't just, are you just going to put Carson Wentz on the bench? And pay him
yeah, pretty much.
Pay him $35 million to be your backup quarterback?
That's what they're doing currently. That is
what they're doing currently. But is that what they're going to do in the future is the question.
It's weird.
Listen,
don't get me wrong. It's weird. This is a weird situation.
It is. And I've been speaking highly of Jalen Hurts for a while now.
Scotty, I know what that was.
He keeps Bluegrass does that every episode.
He does. That's good.
Oh, I'm looking at it.
So this is what are they going to do? Are they going to take down the statue? No, they're not going to take down the statue. But I mean, people who have statues finish their careers in other places.
Is there a chance they could maybe do something like what the Jaguars did with Nick Foles' contract? Because Nick Foles was like an $80 million contract for like 4 years. And when they sent him to Chicago, they just restructured it so all the money was at the back end of the contract pretty much.
I told you, when I was trying to look into Carson Wentz's numbers, and it gave me a headache.
Yeah. Isn't there something about if they cut him after a certain date too, they save on the cap?
They save on the cap, but it's still like a $20 million hit.
It's like 24, and then it's another like 26 next year too. They just spread it out over two years, other than like the 59 it would be if they cut him before June 1st.
Yeah, that's you taking an L in any one of these situations. You're going to take an L.
Wentz, I hate to say it. I think they're going to roll with
If you think
they're going to roll with him?
I mean, like, the money just doesn't make sense. I mean, unless there's a way they can get rid of him.
So if they're going to roll with Carson Wentz, that means that all 3 of them are going to be back next year probably, right?
I mean, if I'm Jalen Hurts and I ball out these last 5 games, I'm not coming to camp. I'm not going to sit here behind this dude who 2 interceptions every game. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Come on.
Listen,
Washington will come get you, kid. Let's go.
All right, I'm you know me. I like to throw some crazy predictions out there, right? But you might have just witnessed a changing of the guard in Philadelphia. Let's think about it like this. Like, they won the Super Bowl. They had their chances. They messed up with the money. Everything's messed up. Doug Peterson, gone. Deuce Staley takes over the head coaching position. Carson Wentz ends up getting traded. Jalen Hurts is your new starting quarterback. The new look Philadelphia Eagles. Deuce Staley is your head coach. Jalen Hurts is your starting quarterback. Jalen Reagor on the outside. Miles Sanders in the backfield. they're probably going to get rid of one of those tight ends too. So Zach Ertz probably gone. Goddard's
I'd
there.
get rid of Alshon Jeffrey too and try to promote
Alshon Jeffrey,
Fulgham.
Deshaun Jackson, they gone. They're all gone.
Yeah.
The Eagles are going to have to tear it all down. But the thing that's not bad is they have some young talent. So it's just a matter. I think they needed this game to really see that, okay, things are going to change. Things have to change. It's just the only way. The team looks Awthentik, and I talked about this before the game, before we went on air.
You can call it the game. Yeah, this is the big game right here. Awthentik in the beard.
Everything about the Eagles looks faster.
Oh, yeah.
On the field.
The combination of players with Jalen Hurts works out so much better than it does with Carson Wentz because he got wheels. When things break down, he can run out of the pocket and make things happen. And I think that the Saints defense just wasn't ready for that. They caught him off guard and got that early lead. I looked up and it was like they had like 3 scores already on the board. I'm like, man, they might be able to win this game. And I think that when Taysom Hill and them finally realized it was too little too late to try to come back. And Taysom Hill's targeting Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara. That's it. Like no one else on that team is really making plays offensively. It almost looked like they should have brought in Jameis Winston. I hate to say it, because when they stop the run from Taysom Hill, they're very limited. Throwing the ball, he's very limited.
His passing stats weren't terrible, though. He had over 200 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, right?
I feel you, and a lot of that I just think is from playing from behind, playing from
to you, it didn't look like a team that could make that comeback.
It didn't. It never did. They got close, and I don't like Taysom Hill's pocket awareness either. I just don't. He don't look like a pure quarterback. And y'all know I'm a Taysom Hill fan. I was screaming that dude deserved a chance on a team to be a starting quarterback. But I think I'm kind of seeing why he's not a starting quarterback now. I'm
glad you recognize that because that's the kind of guy you look at the box score, you're like, oh, he had a good game. Saints should have won. But when you see it, you're like, not quite enough to like push a team over the top when they need quarterback play because the defense obviously didn't show up today.
Yeah, and I think that caught them off guard. They're so used to that defense playing well. They were on a 9-game winning streak. Weren't they?
Yeah. They started 1-2 and then 9 straight.
It's crazy, man, to see them kind of fall to a team that you thought was completely down and out. But the Beard was talking about this. He was saying, like, you plug in Jalen Hurts, it might give you that spark. And Doug Peterson called, or whoever called this game plan, they called a perfect game plan around him. They kept most of the throws short. The one thing I wanted to bring some attention to as well is the way that they ran the RPO. On the first touchdown that Miles Sanders got where he broke loose for 80 yards, the Eagles got the ball. They were pinned in their own territory right on the goal line. They were on like their 2-yard line. They ran the RPO with Jalen Hurts where he kept it first. He got about 20. He got 18 yards on that first run. And then the next play, they ran the exact same RPO one more time, except they just gave it to Miles Sanders, and the defense all went to Jalen Hurts, and he's just off the races for a touchdown.
Talking about that, the Giants ran that thing to perfection from week 4 to like just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So we know that's a good play to run. Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts, that's a nice combo.
Yeah, I like it, man. And the one thing that I might be a little bit worried about with him is kind of what I was worried about with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson had that great season. You come into the second year, and teams are kind of starting to figure out how to scheme against you a little bit and limit what you can do with your legs and at least try to do that, eliminate that first. Can Jalen Hurts be a quarterback who can throw the ball in this league when teams find ways to X out his running style?
Yeah.
That's going to be the test.
The big test. The question I want to ask you, Awthentik, about the Saints, obviously one of the NFC frontrunners all year. We're talking about them maybe being a contender for the Super Bowl. Michael Thomas, dude started the season very slow. He had injuries. I think he got suspended for a game for fighting a teammate. Kind of like a weird start to his year when he's been a beast for the last 4 or 5. Last 2 games, though, he's been targeted 19 times. He has 17 catches, 189 yards. So he's obviously coming on strong when they need him. We know Breeze is going to come back here eventually for the Saints. How important do you think Michael Thomas is for them to reach their full potential as far as like maybe taking the Super Bowl or at least getting there?
He's super important, man. Moving forward, you got to keep those guys around. Kamara, Michael Thomas. There's not many wide receivers in the NFL that are like that. Like, even when I look at a guy like Julio Jones, who, the skill set jumps off the screen. The dude is ridiculous. He's got everything you could possibly want in a wide receiver. Something about Michael Thomas, I don't know. He's just always open. He's got sure hands. You never see drops. Not necessarily a great down the field threat, but he's a guy who can do that too. I think he's you could put him in that Keenan Allen class, and there's not too many people that are in that class, man. I'd put D-Hop in there, a few others.
They started 10-2, and he played, I think, only like maybe 3 games, maybe 3.5 games in the first 10. So like you're saying to get to that next level, he's going to have to show out.
Yeah, especially when you're dealing with injuries like the way that they are. I mean, even when Drew Brees does get back, if he gets back, I mean, is he going to be healthy? We saw with the Giants what happens when the quarterback's not healthy. Don't look like himself. Drew Brees has been having a pretty decent year, but I don't think people are relying on Drew Brees' arm anymore. But seeing the way that Taysom Hill played in this game, I think you realize the value of Drew Brees, even still at this age right now.
I like it. The Beard, you concur?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. It's really going to come down to how long it takes, if it takes any time at all, for Brees and Michael Thomas to, get that rhythm back. If Brees comes back and it's like they didn't skip a beat, then they'll be okay, because it generates. It's not even just about the plays that it generates, like the touchdowns and the yards when they connect. It's about opening things up for Alvin Kamara. And that's really what the connection with Drew Brees and Michael Thomas does. And Alvin Kamara is the one that's going to give the defenses, a lot of trouble. So you really need that sort of. It's like, I hate to say it's not necessarily like a dual threat, but what it is it forces the defense to be more on their heels, because you can't give up that big play to Michael Thomas. And so the more and more you start, bringing safeties over, edging the zone towards wherever Michael Thomas is, or doubling Michael Thomas, it's opening up a space in the field. And the last thing a defense wants is to open up a space on the field for Alvin Kamara. So, that's really, it's a lot bigger than just Michael Thomas making big plays. The fact that Michael Thomas and Drew Brees on the field at the same time, it really opens up doors for the rest of the offense. And then you add that on top of when they do connect on big plays. And that's what makes them one of the, most fearful offensives in the National Football League.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that just a little bit, I was talking about like the hybrid running back in the NFL last show when we were talking on Tuesday, and about how Alvin Kamara is a running back who's never had 1,000 yards rushing in any one of his seasons. He's just a touchdown machine. And for that to work right, I think that's just more proof in what's happening with Saquon Barkley in New York. Like, for that to work right, you need other weapons around. You can't have it be where you just got this one hybrid running back who's a playmaker and you steady trying to get him the ball. And I think even though Michael Thomas got off in this game, it wasn't enough when you think about what the defense allowed in the first and second quarter of this game. So it's like with a hybrid running back, you need your pieces around you to be balling as well for that to even work. And it's just going to make it all look better. I mean, y'all play fantasy and like there's games where it's like Drew Brees, Kamara, Michael Thomas, all going off, and like the Beard says, it just opens up more stuff,
When you got a running back like a Kamara who can run it, he can also receive it at the backfield. And then Michael Thomas, who's not necessarily a super deep play threat, but he's one of the best receivers, maybe the best receiver in football, all over the field. Then the defense has to account for a superstar on all three levels. And that's when you really change the defense and you can open it up for other guys. Michael Thomas is just coming around now. Kamara was balling the first 7 games. Last 3 games with Taysom Hill, 4 games with Taysom Hill. Looked a little bit, not as dominant. But, if Michael Thomas can get back to that level, which he's been doing, that's going to help out Kamara as soon as Brees gets back. It should be a nice combo. Definitely. Let's do the playoff percentage, though. We'll start with the Beard this time. Give me a percentage after that game. Philadelphia sitting at 4-8-1. Tiebreaker in play. What percentage do you see them making the playoffs? Chance.
32%.
Ooh. All
right. That's higher
What's
than
the Cowboys record again?
4-9.
4-9.
Yeah, I believe Philly's half game up. Yeah.
So Eagles just got the half. They got one less loss in the tie.
Baloney tie against the Bengals. I can't believe they tied the Bengals. They should have told us something when that happened. Should have known.
I know. Cowboys just
known.
went and took care of them. But granted, Joe Burrow went there. I'm gonna say I gave the Cowboys 20. I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles is just a little bit above that. So I'm gonna say 25.
It's a new team. I mean, Jalen Hurts, if he could turn that off, because the defense is not bad. The defense has never been really bad this year. The offense has been a struggle because they turn the ball over, put their defense in bad positions. Jalen Hurts can move the football. You said 25? I'm going to go 26%. I'm going to go a little bit higher than Awthentik.
I want to take a look at the rest of their schedule, what the last couple games left are. So they got the Cardinals coming up. They got 2 divisional games to end the year.
Giants and then us.
Cowboys and then y'all. Yeah, so I don't think the Eagles are going to beat y'all. I really don't. I almost feel like with that schedule, it might be less.
You know what's crazy is say Philly beats Arizona, they beat the Cowboys. If, Washington falls to Seattle and beats
division.
Carolina, then the division will come down to that last game
Unless the Giants
against us.
And I don't see the Eagles winning 3 games against those teams right there, because the Saints win is already one where it's like, now you got to go in and try to beat the Cardinals back to back. It kind of reminds me of what the Giants just went through with the Seahawks and the Cardinals. 2 tough games, and to come out of that with 1 win is like, man, that's good. My man Pest was saying that's house money at the end of the day when we played the Cardinals, and made me feel a lot better about the loss. But I don't know, Eagles going in there and winning 3 games like that, 2 now back to back. If they do win those games, I think they'll be able to take care of Washington, and you could just say goodbye to the season right there if they win out. But I don't see that. I don't think any team in the NFC East is going to win out.
It's a brand new team over there in Philly, man. That's the team I'm worried about. I'm worried about the Giants most, but they're right behind them.
Yeah.
Look at what Lack said.
0.1 points.
0.1. Wow.
Off the safety last night.
You always got to look at both sides of the coin. Whoever you were playing was like, as soon as he refreshed, it was like, won.
Uh-huh. You better hope they don't do no point corrections or nothing like that and pull you back. That would be awful. But, man, that's an exciting win to get by 0.1. That's amazing, bro.
That's crazy.
Bad beat, though. He said he lost that way or he won that way?
He won.
He won that way.
You saw how millions of dollars switched over in that last play of the game.
See, I like this. This is more where I'm at with it right here. Like, I think Washington could just beat the Eagles maybe and still get in. And Giants, if we could come out here and win 2 games, same thing. I kind of like that because it's still the NFC East, man. I can't get too hype on it now,
I just think that our teams look pretty good. All right, let's take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back. We got trivia to get into next, and then we're going to do our final 2 recaps, Washington and the G-Men. Hang tight. We'll be back in about 16 seconds.
Your wide receiver on IR? Aw, shucks. Your running back keep fumbling every week? Man, damn it all. Well, come chop it up with your boys. We are waiver wire tight. Awthentik and the Beard. Every Sunday morning, streaming live at 11 a.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, check us out Sunday mornings, 11 a.m. The Parlay. We talk about every game, gambling over and unders against the spreads. Maybe give you some fantasy players. The playoffs have begun if you have a fantasy team that's any good. Not like my team. We are on vacation early. But check us out 11 a.m. for the Parlay. It's always a good time. You can ask us questions. We'll give you our best answers. We're not going to talk about Giovanni Bernard because we're not talking about him.
We're not talking about him.
It's everybody's favorite time of the evening tonight. Cue the jazz flutes. Awthentik and the Beard present Trivia time.
Trivia. You need that baritone, cuz. Hey, yo, it's so hilarious trying to hear people imitate the baritone voice. Pest was trying to do the same thing when I entered a chat the other day. He's like, hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Awthentik. Come on, man. You need a little bass in your voice, cuz.
Add a little something to it. All right, everybody. I got 4 questions tonight for the gentlemen. 3 football questions. 1 hip-hop question. I like this one. Original. They're all original, but this one's super original.
On a 3-game winning streak here.
Awthentik.
What? Really?
Well, he's on a 1-game winning streak, but it was a triple-double game. Awthentik has technically won 3 games in a row. He's sitting pretty. The Beard.
I don't know.
It's going to be big for you. Chat. If you guys know the answers, don't be afraid. Go ahead and type it in. If they don't know it, they're going to take your answer. The Beard, we are starting with you this week. Are you ready?
Oh, so we're not doing those same time vibes? We're going to do...
Oh, that's right. We got bored.
What y'all want to do? Same time vibes or
Same
what y'all want to do? It's up to y'all.
Upgraded. Awthentik and the Beard present trivia time with
Trivia.
chalkboards.
Same time, game time.
Let's get it.
Game time. All right. This is great. First one.
Same time, game time. That was the answer.
Choice. Now all I got to do is have a clock. I should just put my timer up on here or something. I'll do like 10 seconds. All right. Question number 1, multiple choice. Which wide receiver leads the NFL in targets?
Oh, in targets.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
A, Allen Robinson. B, Keenan Allen. C, Stephon Diggs.
Ooh, that's tough.
You fellas have 12 seconds.
Oh.
Ah.
All right, time is up. Let's see some answers.
Are you ready, Beard?
Yeah.
Flip them. Allen Robinson, who's B? Who's
Keenan Allen,
B?
right? I think it's Keenan Allen. You're the one who said the
From
letters.
now on, we're not accepting letters. You need to
Well, then why you give me a letter for? I thought you was giving me
To
letters so that would be a
differentiate
lot
which
easier to
answer is
write
what?
out.
Did I
You
say
said
B?
A, B, and C.
If
He
I
said A, B, and C.
I don't remember saying it, but if I said it, I'll trust everybody. The chat's saying B too. Josie says B. I trust Josie for sure. The Beard, you take it. The answer is Keenan Allen.
You know, I wanted to go. You see, I had
saw
Keenan
you
scratched
wrote it
out because like I thought it might have been a trick question with Allen Robinson in the mix there. I was like, man, maybe he knows something I don't know.
Bears got no offense. Just come on, Allen.
Every time.
Number 2 is Steph Diggs. He's got 134. Allen Robinson is third in the NFL, 128.
Oh man, I don't have a paper towel today.
So he's right there. And there we go.
There's the
Gotta
jab
use your,
slip.
use your sleeve, man.
I ain't about, man, how you think I kept this Stussy fresh for like 10 years? I wasn't using it on the chalkboard. Man, we look like Bart Simpson out this month.
I will not lose any more trivia games.
Right?
All right. Question number 2. Awthentik is up one. No, the Beard is up 1-0.
Can't win.
Which rookie wide receiver set the record this season for the longest touchdown from scrimmage by a Canadian-born football player?
Yo, this is some trivia.
You didn't know any of these rookie wide receivers were Canadian, did you?
No.
One of them is. You have 15 seconds.
15 seconds, huh? Jesus.
Longest play from scrimmage in NFL history by a Canadian. Not too shabby.
Oh, man.
Time is up.
I don't know his name.
You know his name.
No.
You know his
I can't think of his name right now.
Time is up. I'm getting a call from Frostburg, Maryland. I don't know who this is. You are not going to get answered. I'm in trivia time. I'm busy.
What do they say in school? Pencils down.
Pencils down. Authentic. Yeah, buddy. Come on. Let's do it.
All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Chalkboards up. Authentic throws up the don't know emoji for the Bengals. Could be talking about T. Higgins, perhaps.
I think that's what I was talking about, yup.
Well, that's also incorrect. The Beard, Chase Claypool, is Canadian.
The Beard is just stopping me today.
Notre
Come
Dame guy.
on.
That's kind of a Beard question. This next one's going to help you out because it's a Giants question, Authentic.
Okay.
The Beard's up 2-0. Authentic, you need to go ahead and take these last two here. Otherwise, and then we'll get
I'm not
to
banking on it. It's been a bad week.
This one is an interesting one.
I'm going to write in cursive this time. Maybe that'll help.
If anybody in the
Do you remember how
chat,
to do that?
Of course.
this is the Giants football question, and you'll only know it if you're from Glenmont or Wheaton, Maryland. Is that good? Do you guys like that?
Sure.
Can you believe that? Are you even you're shocked right now? You don't know what I'm about to ask you.
At
Question
all.
number 3. The Beard's up 2-0. Starting with Authentic. No, we're not starting with anybody. They both flip it the same.
Right.
Which New York Giants Hall of Famer owned and operated a duck pin bowling alley in Glenmont, Maryland that bear his name?
What was the last part? What his name?
Bear his name. The name of the bowling alley was his name.
Yeah.
Giants
I
Hall
don't
of
remember.
Famer. 2-time All-Pro. You guys never duck pin bowled in your Glen Haven days, did
I
you?
went up there too. I don't remember the name of that joint.
Yeah, I just remember it being called duck pin.
You're right there, gentlemen. You've been to the location. You know it. I need chalkboards up. We're going to start the count at 60
For real?
seconds. Thought you would know this.
You thought I would know this?
It was common. Now, I mean, we didn't call it duck pin. We called it this. I'm a little younger than Awthentik and the Beard, so maybe by their years it was already over. Or maybe it wasn't started yet. We have hit the timer. I think we're going to get zeros here across the board.
What was the information about where he was from?
He's not from here. He's from somewhere else. But when he retired from the Giants in the 50s, or 40s, mind you, it's a long time ago, he moved to Silver Spring, Maryland for retirement. He operated a laundromat as well as the duck pin bowling alley.
I bet you Ma Dukes
on
knows
George
this answer.
Avenue, about a quarter mile from where I'm sitting right now. About 15 miles from where you guys are.
Has anybody in the chat got it? I don't have the chat up.
Yes. Pops got it off rip. Roman got it. Pops got it twice. That's about it, though.
Steve's drawing again. Awthentik is
Nothing. You
drawing
guys got
again.
nothing. So you guys bowled there and you only knew it as duck pin bowling.
Yeah.
Kevin Duckpin.
All right. Y'all ready?
Is that a new one, or did you just throw it up yourself? Josie, it is.
That's a new
Duckpin.
one.
It is Glenmont Duckpin Bowling. The New York Giant football player who owned it, Tuffy Lehmans.
Oh.
Nothing. Worst question of all time.
Tuffy Lehman.
I've
That
never.
was a Tuffy question.
So wait,
all
was
the
it called
time,
Lehman's
come on.
Duck Pin?
It was called Tuffy Lehmans
Pops got it right.
because we used to live there. We duckpin bowled all the time. That's what we did. It's before
I
video.
feel y'all. I went there like twice, I think.
Yeah, I don't.
I thought it would have been a better question. I apologize.
This is
I feel like I
good.
should give you guys
This
a
is
point.
good. Hey, Lucas said the Giants community needs me to score a point.
Terrible. No belt tonight. All right.
Oh man.
We'll make this a double-parted question because I want to give Awthentik a chance still. Question number 4 is hip-hop. Last week, we talked about a hip-hop trio from Houston, the Ghetto Boys. We're leaving Texas, heading to the Big Apple. I need you guys to name all 3 members of Boogie Down Production, a.k.a. BDP, from the South Bronx. You don't stop.
Oh, I'm done. I'm cooked.
No, you're not. Think about Boogie Down Production, South Bronx. The Bronx should give you a lot. Since there's 3, I'll give you guys points for each one you do get. The MC was tragically murdered 7 months after their debut album dropped, Criminal Minded. One of
Yeah.
the first murder hip hops of all time.
You good, Beard?
I'm drawing a blank right now. So yeah, let's go.
You gonna be straight because I can't get the third one.
Scott LaRock, KRS-One. The Beard got KRS-One. The third member was D Nice.
D-Nice. Oh, dog, I kicked it with D-Nice one time. How the hell did I not know that? Come on.
All right.
D-Nice
2-1.
be in D.C. a lot now, Scotty.
Still performing?
He DJs.
Oh, I was gonna say because I'm
The whole versus battle thing that's happening has a lot to do with what D-Nice did when the quarantine first hit. He did a super successful all-day DJ set where he just took donations and made like $500,000.
Those people who jumped on that early during quarantine, some good times there. Hey, who's the little dude that shot Meg Thee Stallion? I'm drawing a blank right now.
Oh, Tory Lanez.
Tory Lanez. Instagram
Yeah, with
Live.
what was his called? Club Tory or something.
I'm glad you're familiar. Outrageous. Outrageous.
Yeah.
Got me some lonely times during the early quarantine. Talking about March.
I
April.
think that's why he dropped an album too, because he saw the wave off the lives he was doing, and then he was like, might as well drop an album.
And then everything was slowing down again. He's like, let me go ahead and shoot the hottest female rapper in the game right now. Let her give me back up again.
Right in the big toe.
Big toe. All right. Trivia time is over. The Beard. Congratulations,
Takes
my
the trophy.
friend. We're
Good
gonna
job.
give
Good
you
job, the Beard.
Win it. I'll get you guys the belt. And you guys can just pass it back and forth. That'd be the
I
way.
like that. I like that.
We're getting to the meat and potatoes of Awthentik and the Beard. We know what y'all want to talk about. First game of the good teams we're going to recap. The New York Football Giants. The only NFC East team to take a loss this weekend. They fall to the Cardinals 26-7. I can talk to you about stats. I can give you numbers. I'm not going to do that. You guys are a little bit too advanced as far as you're thinking for that. So let's talk about the real thing that went on in this Giants football game. Daniel Jones, he did return from his hamstring injury. The conversation amongst all Giants fans this week was he ready for this game? Did not run the football one time, didn't scramble out of the pocket. First time in 24 career starts. He had a rough game all the way around. Fumbled 3 times, sacked 6 times, wasn't mobile. On Monday morning, after the game was over, head coach Joe Judge had watched the game film. This is an interview after practice or whatever. He said, this is a quote, "The way he moved in the game is what we expected," unquote. So that tells me Jason Garrett and Joe Judge, what they saw in practice was a Daniel Jones that couldn't protect himself as far as moving out of the pocket and also not being able to implement the RPO, which has been not the bread and butter, but it's been a huge part of the Giants offense, which hasn't been dominant, but has been good enough along with the phenomenal defense to get them 4 wins in a row. So when he says something like that, you kind of got to take into question Joe Judge's decision on that. A lot of you are going to think it's a good decision. He's still your best option. I'm sure some people out there saying, why wasn't Colt McCoy playing? We got to give some credit to the Cardinals. They were ready for a quarterback that couldn't move around. 8 total sacks. They forced those 3 fumbles, held the Giants to their lowest yard output in 7 years. The Giants only had 81 net passing yards. That's the lowest since that Eli Manning game in Wembley Stadium in 2007. I don't know if y'all remember that. Wet, sloppy, the ball couldn't go. Eli had 41 passing yards. This is the second worst game since then, to tell you how bad it looked for them out there. Awthentik, man, I'm not trying to drill you guys into the ground right here. I like the Giants. I like where you're at. I don't know about the decision by Joe Judge to start Daniel Jones. If you were at practice all week last week, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't finish the question out. If you were at practice all week last week and you saw the way Daniel Jones was moving or not moving around, would you have started him at quarterback?
I 100% would have started him.
You would.
The thing about the NFL, man, is you got to be a tough guy and be able to play through injuries. Everybody's going to get banged up, and I know that this hamstring is a pretty serious injury. And I said this on Twitter, man. If Daniel Jones would have been hobbling his way to a victory, nobody would have said nothing about him being started in this game. Let's go back to Eli Manning. You remember when Eli Manning hurt his shoulder? I want to say that was like in his first 4 years in the league. Hurt his shoulder. He went out there and played through it. Didn't have the greatest games, but he went out there and he played through it. With this game, Daniel Jones and this offense just looked completely awful. And that's why I showed a picture of my man C.J. Anderson, because all Giants fans knew what the formula was. The formula was to get this guy the ball all day long. We should have been giving this guy the ball all day long. Instead, they want to try to put the ball in Daniel Jones' hands. And if Joe Judge is willing to admit that in the beginning, to let you know that this guy was not as mobile as they wanted him to be, that's more of an emphasis on why this game plan should have went through the running game. And they let us hang around close. I mean, at the half of this game, it's 13-0 in a game where the Giants probably should have been down by maybe 24 points in the game. You know, so the Cardinals allow us to hang around. And, I do think it's the right decision to start him. And I do see also why late in the game, why he didn't take him out, because there was still that window of opportunity. But I think that Jason Garrett ruined any chance we had in the second half. We come out in the second half. Daniel Jones finally gets going. We put 7 up on the board. Our defense comes out, makes the stop that we need. Now you're looking at trying to cut it down to a 1-score game here. I remember that the Cardinals pinned us back in our own territory. And it's the most pivotal point in this game. I think all Giants fans remember it. First down, we go to the pass. Second down, we go to Wayne Gallman, who goes 9 yards. So we're looking at a 3rd and 1. He really bailed out Jason Garrett's bad passing call on first down, if you ask me, because we needed to get back to the run like we did against Seattle and like we did against the Cincinnati Bengals in the second half. Instead, on 3rd and 1, and Daniel Jones actually in the presser. A lot of Giants fans were skeptical about this, thinking that Daniel Jones might have audibled out of the play. But in reality, it came out now. Daniel Jones actually made this clear, and he said that it wasn't an audible. Jason Garrett called this pass play because he thought that those were ways that they could attack the weaknesses of the Cardinals. I mean, you just can't do that on 3rd and 1 with the team trying to fight back to get within a 1-score game. And as a fan watching the game, that was the last window I saw of opportunity for real. I tried to stay positive throughout the rest of the game, but just a terrible game, starting with the coaches with the game plan. And I think the number one thing in this game of what really threw them off, I don't think Jason Garrett and this Giants offense were ready for the Cardinals to bring out a 4-4 defense. And when they brought out that 4-4 defense with 8 people in the box, the only way was to really have Daniel Jones throwing the ball. And maybe his health was an issue here of why he couldn't throw the ball the way he wanted to. I know a lot of Giants fans have been complaining about separation from these wide receivers. We know the Giants are lacking the number 1 wide receiver threat. Golden Tate, leading wide receiver in this game, I want to say he had the 1 catch.
Yeah,
One catch for 39
There's only
yards.
one
You
catch.
mentioned that 3rd and 1 earlier where you guys didn't run it, you threw it down the field. And that was a one-on-one, I believe, Sterling Shepard, and they felt good
Yep.
about the matchup. I mean, the corner didn't just have good coverage. He was farther than Sterling Shepard when the ball got there.
Yeah, and Daniel Jones puts a pass pretty much in the only place you could put the ball. And Sterling Shepard almost does some miraculous CeeDee Lamb kind of vibes. The position of the pass reminded me of that pass to CeeDee Lamb against the Vikings. Yep. And you got to be an incredible wide receiver to come up with that kind of catch. But, I mean, I just think this goes back to the coaches got out-schemed right from the gate. And when that happens, it's hard for players to look good. You know, Wayne Gallman regressed in this game, and it's because he didn't get the carries. I want to take y'all through his season. When Wayne Gallman finally starts getting his bulk of the carries, it's against the Eagles in the first game, and that's one of the first games that we were competitive in this whole season. He had 12 carries for 44 yards. The next week, 14 carries. The next week, 18 carries. The next week was against the Bengals, 24 carries. The Seahawks, he got 16 carries. He had 135 yards. He was averaging 8.4 yards a carry. And then you come into this Cardinals game and you only give him the ball 12 times for 57 yards. It literally made no sense.
No sense.
I mean, and I understand that the 4-4 is going to force you to pass it, but I would have rather seen the Giants just go out there and die on their running shield. The defense could have kept us in this game, and it would have helped us in the time of possession here. I think the Giants got out, I think we got beaten the time of possession by 10 minutes, I want to say it was. Let me just double check that. Yeah, it was almost 15 minutes.
So you don't put any emphasis on the Daniel Jones injury. You think that it had anything to do with the way the offense?
I mean, obviously his play has something to do. You know, he didn't play a good game.
The fumbles weren't good because, I mean, the offensive line didn't play well for sure. But the fact that he wasn't able to because he didn't run the ball at all. That's weird.
He didn't run the ball, and you could tell that slowed down his game, you know, for sure. Daniel Jones, and I talked about this with Bad Dog last night. Daniel Jones is the kind of quarterback that pressure and reading the pressure in the pocket is a problem. I mean, you got to look at this first fumble. This is front side pressure. I was telling these kids in the Discord this today, right? They're like, one kid in particular who really, really, really loves Daniel Jones. He was saying, like, you know, all quarterbacks are going to fumble that. But the thing is that all quarterbacks are not going to leave themselves in position to get hit on a front side pressure. I mean, literally the pressure's coming right in his face. And most quarterbacks who are looking down the field, they can see that. And I think that's where Daniel Jones really needs work. And being that he didn't have a running, being that he didn't have his legs up underneath him pretty much because of this hamstring injury, when it came time for him to just put the ball down and run it, he couldn't do that. So what do you do? I mean, I saw a couple times where he took the sack and it was like, oh, well, I can't do nothing about it, you know?
I kind of see what you Giants fans are talking about. Now that you're talking about it, I'm thinking it through while you're saying it. So this is a game where he obviously is not going to be as mobile because of the hamstring. So you guys all felt this is his time to prove himself as a pocket passer. Show the awareness, show the time, and show the accuracy. And he didn't meet the standard you guys wanted to see as far as that development. Yeah,
I definitely agree with you on that. And I think that because, and this is why I'll go back to the game plan being a major part of this too, why I think the game plan fails all the players here. Look at how our offensive line regressed. They literally took a step back to week 2, week 3, you know?
Andrew Thomas got beat like a rag doll.
Andrew Thomas allowed 6 pressures and 1 sack. Hassan Reddick, he broke records for the Cardinals against this line. I want to say it was 5 sacks and 2 or 3 forced fumbles in this game.
All 3 of them against,
3 forced fumbles. Those are both franchise records. You know, so I just think that when Jason Garrett comes out here with a game plan that does not instill the run, and we saw a little bit of this in the other games. You look at the first half of the Seahawks game. We were very fortunate to be down 5-0 in that game, but he tried to get cute in that game too. You saw a lot of passing going on early on in that game. You know, Cincinnati, you saw the same thing. Early on, Daniel Jones was looking like a premier quarterback in that game, but granted, it's against the Cincinnati Bengals. But it almost took for Daniel Jones to get hurt for Jason Garrett to actually rely on his running game and be forced to actually give the ball to Wayne Gallman. So I just think that when this team is running the ball, our offensive line is not playing on their heels, and there becomes a bit of balance, which allows guys like Andrew Thomas, only in his first year, to maybe look like a pretty good left tackle at this point in his career, because I think he has the tools, and he showed you last week he's got the tools. But when the game plan comes out like this, you're almost shooting yourself in the foot. And I really think the Cardinals just surprised him. I mean, I think Jason Garrett came out there and saw 4-4 and he was winging it, like my man the Beard just said. He just came up, he was freestyling it, trying to find a way to make plays and just missing them. And I mean, I do think the separation is an issue. We know that the Giants got to address a wide receiver, but I think going into this game, a lot of Giants fans were under the impression that the Giants only needed one key player on offense to really make it go, especially when we get Saquon Barkley back healthy next year. But I think that this game really showed you that The Giants need more than just one wide receiver. We need some depth at wide receiver. Golden Tate and Sterling Shepard make one decent slot wide receiver who I think could get the job done together. But also, we're going to need some more weapons. I mean, Evan Ingram non-existent in this game. You know, Darius Slayton continues to struggle. He seems to be just a straight down the field kind of deep ball burner kind of guy. But where are the post corner routes? Where are the double moves? You know, where are these big routes that we used to see guys like Odell Beckham making these kind of plays? I can remember with Eli Manning, they would put Odell Beckham in the slot at times, right? And they would run the comeback route out of the slot, inside comeback, about 10 yards down the field. They would throw it like 5 or 6 times. I don't know if y'all remember this route from like 2017. They would run this play like 5 or 6 times, and then finally Odell Beckham would face the quarterback, put his hands up, and then spin out of it for the double move. We killed teams with that double move. Darius Slayton just seems to be very limited with the way he runs his deep routes. They're always just these streaking fade routes, streaking fly routes, you know. So I think Darius Slayton could be a number 3. He did.
He was like 5 of the first 8 throws were to Darius Slayton, and I was like, he wasn't showing out, and I was like, I told Awthentik to start Slayton. That might have been a bad move.
Yeah, and I didn't start Slayton. I didn't have the confidence in him. And I think maybe Jason Garrett is feeling the pressure from the fan base a little bit because a lot of the fans have been saying Darius Slayton needs to be targeted more in this game. He's having to address it in his press conferences almost every week why Darius Slayton's not getting the ball. And I think maybe they thought that they could attack this defense with the passing game and kind of catch him off guard. But they stuck to that script a little bit too long. To come out in the third quarter and only be down by 2 scores after you score a touchdown on your first possession, there's no excuse to not get back to the run. The Beard's always talking about this with Washington, man, and I always feel like 17 is the right number. Like, if you could get a 17-point lead, that's when you can really make teams stop running the ball. Being that the Giants were down by 13 points, I think we should have still committed to the run. I know all Giants fans feel the same way. I mean, I literally had the train sound effects on Tuesday. Everybody was lit. My man, the Hub, is printing up Wayne Train T-shirts. It's so obvious that we needed to run the ball through Wayne. And the Cardinals allowed us to stay in this game, to be able to do it, and we didn't do it. And on the other side of the ball, man, our defense, you know, was thrown off guard as well. I mean, I don't know if Patrick Graham wanted to switch up the game plan that we had from Seattle, but I would have liked to see a little bit more of the game plan from Seattle. You saw too much Jabril Peppers in open field against Kyler Murray, and I don't know if that was designed to be a spy or what, but I would have much rather have seen Jabril Peppers with more pressure on the quarterback, sending more blitzes at the quarterback. Instead, we kind of sat in a zone all day, and what I talked about with Seattle, how we were effective against Seattle was that when the first wave of the rush would miss, you would see other guys coming to the ball, and that would make Russell Wilson make bad throws or have to throw it away or take sacks. I can't remember how many sacks he took in that game. But in this game, when Kyler Murray just eluded the first pressure, there was nobody else there, and it really showed why the Giants need an edge rusher going into next year, because a lot of our pressure was funneling right up the middle. Kyler Murray would just scramble out, roll to the outside. There'd be nobody out there all day long. And he was hitting DeAndre Hopkins all day long, eating us up, man. And quietly, I feel like DeAndre Hopkins had a fantastic game. It was 9 catches for 136 yards.
That's my question to you, the Beard. I mean, the defense, I'm not blaming the Giants' defense for this loss. I think the offense got to shoulder a lot of that with the turnovers and whatnot. But if you're Patrick Graham, moving on, if they make it to the playoffs, would you ever want to see them adjust Bradbury to follow the best receiver? Because you're talking about an all-pro cornerback. He only plays one side of the field. That might be his deal. That might be Graham's deal. I don't know. But you want to put your best corner on the best wide receiver. And like Awthentik just mentioned, Hopkins went off.
Yeah, shout out to Kid Blue one time in the chat, man. What's up, man? Thanks for having me on the channel, too, the other day, bro. That was therapy as well, man. That was the first therapy session of the night.
Man, I feel like he's done as well as he has this season, right? In the way that they're playing him. Why do you necessarily feel that you have to change that?
I got you.
That'd be my initial thought. I mean, obviously you also have to take it at a game by game basis. You know, like if the game situation really allowed you to do that and you really felt necessary, I think that at least you can feel comfortable knowing that you can do that with Bradbury. You know, I mean, and if you make it to the playoffs, you know, everything's on the table in the playoffs. Like, so say you're in a must-win game, right? And you see that player is cooking. You know, even though this kind of was a must-win game, if you see that player is cooking, maybe you do try it just to see if you can, you know, plug the hole a little bit, you know, stop the bleeding some. So it's an option, and obviously he is capable of doing that. I believe that, and I'm sure most people here also believe that. But I wouldn't necessarily make that a game plan and attack that way unless absolutely necessary. And, you're getting into that territory, though, now here in the next
They have been doing
weeks.
a bit of it, too. He has been moving around. He doesn't just stick to just one side. We were talking about that with Matt Emery, actually. Matt Emery was like, I swear I seen him moving around, and that was against Seattle. And I've seen him move around, I believe, not necessarily following the number one wide receiver, but moving around. But one more point I wanted to bring up about this game, too, is we can't forget the special teams, man. We've had about 2-3 weeks in a row now. The special teams has not played well. Our punt coverage has completely changed, and teams are able to return punts on us and get great field position. And the one glaring issue in this game was the fumble by Dion Lewis on the kickoff. That literally put the Giants down by 2 scores for the rest of the game. And now I hate it when the Giants get down by 2 scores because this is not the kind of team that can climb back.
I know all about
with this
that.
quarterback. Yeah, and
Right.
Beard, you know all about that. Y'all know about that. With this quarterback, you're not going to be able to have him just keep throwing the ball down the field to be able to come back. Not yet. He has not proven that he could do that yet. So, I think you got to hammer the run. That there was a couple of mistakes in this game. That kickoff, that fumble being one of the most major because it just happens at a time where it's like the Giants are still in the game, and we shot ourselves in the foot a lot in this game. It might have been an illegal play too. He kicked the ball out. Let's not forget that.
Oh, man.
It's got to be intentional. Do you think
It looked intentional. It did look intentional. He was being blocked outside away from the runner, and his leg that was towards the inside kicked the ball out. So
scorpion kick from
It was a little sketchy. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It wasn't as blatant as
a little sketchy.
It wasn't as blatant as Antonio Brown when he drop kicked that kicker. It wasn't like that. But it was like
you had a game though, man. You started AB.
I did start AB, and he had a decent game.
Better than Slade.
Oh, there was somebody in the chat I wanted to address something too. It was Sebastian had a good point. He was talking about Slayton being a number 2, but yet having the number 1 corners on him pretty much at all times, which is why I think he's a number 3, because if you brought in like a guy who was a true bona fide number 1 to play the outside, I'm talking like Des Bryant in the prime, a guy who plays big 50-50 balls like that, it would push Slayton to be the 3rd because I feel like your slot's going to be the guy that gets a lot of catches. Granted, on the depth chart, the other split end would be listed as the number 2, but I just feel like a lot of teams are seeing more success out of the slot, which kind of makes me think that the Giants could maybe go to the draft and get a guy who's a speedster, man, and not necessarily have to attack and get a guy who is a 50-50 ball kind of catcher. We could get a player who's more a bit what AB was in his prime or maybe what Tariq Hill is right now.
JG's talking about you can't win a game on defense, and I agree with that, but I think that all stems from I'm a Washington fan. I know you guys want to see more from Daniel Jones in the pocket, but the fact he can't run the football, that seems to be a huge part of the Giants' success on offense, which leads to their defense getting time to breathe on the sideline and playing as well as they played. So, I don't want to put it all on the hamstring, but if your offense is designed around the Giants not being able to run the football effectively or even trying to, then I don't see the Giants being a great football team. So, I'm going to put a lot on the injury. One more week, if he comes back healthy, I think the Giants are going to be as good as they were 2 weeks ago,
with the injury being there, it's just so much more emphasis for Jason Garrett to call a better game plan. And I've been arguing for Jason Garrett a lot on Twitter. I had a mean argument with somebody that was a Giants fan that was saying it's never going to get done with Jason Garrett. And I was like, just give him his time. This was probably 4 weeks ago. You start to see the uptick in Wayne Gallman's carries, and then literally when the season is on the line, it just seems so obvious to just run the ball in this game with your quarterback banged up. It just seemed obvious. With either quarterback, if Colt McCoy were to come in this game and play, I think that the plan should have been to run the ball too, because Colt McCoy's coming off a game where we beat Seattle and he only threw for like 110 yards.
Yeah.
So the Giants show you can get it done.
And he might have come in with a game plan, sees that 4-4 that Arizona stuck with the whole time and was like, he might have known they were going to lose that game before the game even kicked off or after the first defensive series.
Yeah, and I think that the Cardinals secondary is very underrated. I think people might have just forgot about what was happening back there with their secondary because they were on lockdown all day.
Buda Baker, Patrick Peterson.
Buda Baker is that. I remember from when we played them. Buda Baker is one of those guys that's everywhere on the field.
Buda Baker, Buda Baker.
I love me some Buda Baker.
And I think early in the game too, Marcus Golden just.
Oh yeah, Golden had a great game.
He looked like. He literally just came from being a Giant last week and was like, look, I got all the notes. This what they do. This is the quarterback's weaknesses. This the tackle's weaknesses. This how we could pressure him. He came right out the gate.
We
juiced up.
We did like 20 episodes in season 1. I don't know if you guys watched this in season 1. Of those 20 episodes, Awthentik probably said Marcus Golden name in 17 of them. He was Marcus Golden.
He led them in sacks last year,
point,
right?
Chris.
He had a great
Yeah, he
game.
did. I think he had 11 sacks last year or 10.
That was Awthentik's guy. So when I saw that on the box score, I was like, ooh, Awthentik's tough, man. Your guy's coming back to bite you, boys. But
Yeah, that was tough, man. And I think they just got to go back to the drawing board. I mean, this is good for the fans, I feel like, and good for the content creators because all of us was riding a wave, with the Giants, and we were thinking that the Giants had chances to win out and very optimistic thinking, glass half full kind of vibes. And this game puts you right back down to earth, man. Now you got to catch up to the Washington football team to be able to get back in this mix. And there's not many games left. We only got 3 games left, so you got to get the business here and start winning some games. When we had 6 games left, we knew that the Giants were going to have to win at least 3 of them. We thought 3 would get them in. So, I mean, it's going to be a win here against the Browns or a win here against the Ravens and then finish out the season against the Cowboys to try to get in these playoffs.
sounds like you're mapping it out. The Beard, you give me a percentage on the Giants' playoff chances.
39%.
39. Your number for Washington must be huge.
99.
Just like Chase Young.
I'm going to give the Giants a 49% chance to make the playoffs. Awthentik, what is your chance of your G-men making the playoffs this year, whether it be wild card or division? Both are
I'm trying to keep the math right, and show my work here. I got 45% left. I'm going to say I'm going to stick with my Giants, man. I don't want to change it up. I'm going to go 30% New York Giants could get in the playoffs.
Realistic Giants fan. I'm going to give them 49% chance. I think this team is good. If that hamstrings, I said it a couple weeks ago, they are finicky.
Dr. Homewood, he did tell you.
If he can come back, yeah, shout out PJ, man. I gave him a brace for his broken bone like 30 minutes before I got home.
Collarbone breaks are garbage, man. I broke my collarbone in 10th grade, bro. It was hell.
Did you do his x-rays?
No.
Oh.
I told him that he didn't have to waste any money going to ortho. I was going to help him out. But it's like a figure of 8. It goes over your shoulders and underneath, but it keeps
I know that one.
Straight back, keeps everything healed up.
You got the leather table down in the basement. You laid him out and said, come down to the office.
What's that doctor from Michigan? I don't want to sound like that guy. He's not creepy. Like, come on in.
Right.
I mean, you kind of do got a little Doogie Howser vibe going on, though.
In my house? What are you talking about?
No, I'm just saying, you got a little bit of an appearance of Doogie Howser.
Maybe when he was in Harold and Kumar vibes,
do you ever, on a slow day, do you ever put on the doctor's coat and the stethoscope and put your hands in your pockets right here and play doctor?
You know how much
I
those
thought he
guys
was about
got
to ask
pay
some crazy.
and liability insurance and all that stuff, and they're lawyers? I would never want that position. No way. Even the white jacket. I had to wear a white jacket in school. It's terrible. No one wants any piece of that. Johan knows what I'm talking about. He had to wear the jacket too.
Facts.
All right. Awthentik, man. Any last words on the Giants? I didn't mean to rush you through your segment.
No, that was I think we touched on pretty much everything. I didn't see the chat add too much that they didn't hear about. A lot of this loss is on Jason Garrett and Daniel Jones, man. And Wayne Gallman didn't have his chance in this game. Unfortunately, that's tough.
True. All right. Let's say one more final. It's a new beat, Awthentik.
It's been in the mix. I just don't play it that much.
I like it.
Little funky, soulful vibes,
Very funky. One more commercial break. We got to come back. We got the Washington football teamers recap. First place, baby. Hang tight. We'll be back in about 15 seconds.
Expecting your lineup to be the only for it to turn into some. Well, we can help you rectify that situation. Come chop it up with your boys, Awthentik and the Beard. The best division in football. The best division in football. Streaming live every Tuesday, every Thursday at 7 p.m.
Check us out. Last recap of the evening before we let you folks go. First placed Washington football team took on and defeated San Francisco 49ers. Their 4th straight win. It was 23-15, led by a dominating defensive performance Washington's defense, 2 defensive touchdowns. That's the first time they've done that since 1997. That's when Awthentik and the Beard were stomping freshmen at high school or whatever they were doing back then. Player of the game, Washington rookie DN, Chase Young. Hall of Fame type game. 6 tackles, 1 sack, 1 fumble, forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, and he knocked down 2 passes. The fumble recovery, he returned that bad boy for a 47-yard touchdown, carrying the ball like a loaf of bread. Best game I've seen so far of his rookie campaign. They do look like a Hall of Fame talent out there, faux show. Another shout out for the Redskins defense. 7th round rookie Cameron Curl. He's a safety that came in when Landon Collins went out early in the season. Dude had his first career interception, returned that bad boy for a touchdown. When you see 2 rookie defenders coming out there, not only getting turnovers, but taking them back for touchdowns, you got to be happy as a Washington fan. Thank goodness Washington's defense was scoring. The offense only managed 3 field goals. Pretty atrocious. Alex Smith came out early. He looked uncharacteristically inaccurate. Didn't really know what was going on. Comes off the field at one point, gets his leg wrapped up. He's got a leg injury, a calf injury is what they said. On his surgical leg, he's done for the game. Second half, Dwayne Haskins makes an appearance back into the football game. Led us on a field goal scoring drive in his first one. His last 5 drives of the game, 4 of them were 3 and outs. To me, it didn't look like a lot of progression from the last D Haskins I saw. He was happy in the post game. He was crying and stuff, like it wasn't an injury that brought him in the game. But I mean, it's good to see him back on the football field. He's obviously not giving up on his career. But that was the one disappointing performance in an otherwise phenomenal week for all Washington football teamers. The Beard, I know you're feeling great about the victory. I know you're going to talk about the defense. Real quick question about the offense. Is this the best Redskins offense we're going to see until Antonio Gibson comes back from that injury?
I sure hope not. Look, before I get into the offense, I am going to say it's pretty funny because when you said the loaf of bread thing, like,
Johan,
I'm sure.
Johan, the air horns are reserved for Giants fans only.
We have any problem?
I'm just playing. Y'all get some air horns for first place.
You know what's crazy is I'm pretty sure all of us had some sort of analogy to go for the Chase Young running thing, because to me he looked like a fat kid who just stole a brownie off of a table at lunch. He was holding it. It looked so small in his hands. I mean, offensively, we'll talk about the offense really fast. It's Alex Smith didn't look, and I tweeted this early, like maybe after the second possession. I said, I don't think something is off with Alex Smith, and I don't know if that injury, happened early on or when it happened. I don't think they've even ever acknowledged when it happened. And so, we talked about this briefly, Awthentik and I, how, people that come back from certain injuries, they end up getting calf injuries after that initial injury. So I'm wondering if he's starting to hit the wall in this return. Is his body hitting the wall in this return? And I am a little bit scared, although most people are saying that, they're just going to limit him in practice this week. It's just a calf strain and he'll be back, So you can obviously tell that statistically, it didn't look that bad without Antonio Gibson, running the ball wise. We ran the ball pretty efficient considering we didn't have Antonio Gibson. I mean, McKissick, I believe, was averaging somewhere between, 4 and 6 yards a carry?
11 carries for 68 yards.
So that's 6.8 yards a carry.
Solid.
He's good. I like McKissick, man. He's sharp.
And so, and Barber was getting the tough yards. To be honest with you, too, that field was a disaster.
Did you notice that everybody was slipping and getting ankling? I mean,
the field
was flipping up, man. It was awful.
But when they took him out the game, they put that little contraption on his leg, and I was immediately like, oh no!
Did you see the 30 for 30 or that little documentary?
No, I haven't seen the Alex Smith documentary yet.
So they show some really graphic pictures of his leg after the surgery. It doesn't really look like he has a calf. Like there is no calf. I mean, it's just like a mangled piece of meat. You can see the bone, and that's about it. There's not really much left. So when they say calf injury, like you said, Tim, is there a wall that Alex Smith has maybe hit? And that's all he's got left in the leg for the year.
Yeah,
that's the first time I heard that. No one's really been talking about that. Maybe he hit a wall, with his health, pretty much.
There's definitely. I mean, working in orthopedics, there's a limit to what you can push your body to, especially for something like that. I mean, a lot of people can't walk after that. He's trying to play professional football.
And you could just see it because when they did try to go down the field in points in that game, he was short on almost. It was almost like it was. He doesn't necessarily have that arm strength, but like he can make the throws, but it just did not look right. And you touched on it too. His accuracy was something that he was struggling with in that game. And you have to give some credit to San Francisco's defense though, for sure, because their pass defense was what I thought we were going to be able to attack, and they completely showed up as far as their secondary went. And so a lot of that is on Washington's part. And I was really upset with the way that Scott Turner called this game. For about 75% of that game, I thought was called awful.
Yeah.
And even after Alex Smith left the game, on Dwayne Haskins' first drive, they get down to the red zone and they want to pass the ball 3 times in a row. Like, run the ball. I don't understand why teams can't do it. This is the NFL, okay? Like, this is a game of the trenches. Run the rock. Okay, you got 3 yards to go. It's harder to pass the ball 3 yards in that territory because you don't have a lot of estate to work with.
Yeah,
it's easier to run the ball. Run the ball.
And
it's that simple.
I think McKissick doesn't look good in practice because he runs the football. When he runs it effectively, like 6 yards a carry, they still won't give him the football when they need to give him the football. It's like he's a scat back. He's good for like the little short receptions, like a Danny Woodhead. But when you really need those yards, they don't trust the guy.
And remember, I brought that up last week where I was like, I didn't understand why when Antonio Gibson went out the game, they were giving the ball to Peyton Barber in the situations that you would normally give it to Gibson. Yeah. I'm not saying that don't let Peyton Barber run the ball, but there's certain game situations where Peyton Barber is best suited to run the rock.
Yeah,
and down by the goal line.
Yeah, down by the goal line.
I mean, McKissick was getting some tough yards. Like the dude was breaking outside and breaking tackles. I would have given him 15, 20 carries. Given him Gibson's load, I would have.
Yeah, and then the other thing too is Logan Thompson had another good game, and Dwayne Haskins, Thomas. What did I say?
Chris Thompson.
Yeah, I was thinking scat backs and Logan Thomas. So but the thing is also is that when it came down to Dwayne Haskins' performance, as soon as he came in the game, he looked sharp on those first pass attempts.
The first drive of the game, he looked good.
Yeah, the first couple of pass attempts, he looked good. And I don't know if you were watching the game, but at one point, they did like a close-up on his feet. And that was one of the big issues that he had was with his feet. Setting his feet and making the throws and things like that, His feet looked a lot better. And I'm a bit more easy on Dwayne Haskins than most people. So, I'm still going to judge him, accordingly. But he did throw that pick, almost threw that pick too. And that was his problem when he did have problems today. And that's been his problem in his career up to this point.
He would have lost that football. If that pick happened, we would have lost that football game.
Yeah, the high passes were crazy. So, I mean, obviously, the offense is a work in progress, and we all know that.
Matt Emery, to answer your question real quick, Tim, before Matt Emery asked what Peyton Barber's yards per carry is this season, it's 2.7.
Yeah, and in this game, it was 3.8. He actually had more carries than McKissick. He had 12 carries.
Yeah, which I just...
For 37 yards. 2 catches for a yard.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to be just like a goal line back these days. I mean, last week he did have a decent game running the ball. The average yards per carry was a little bit higher last week, I believe. But I also think, man, Terry McLaurin been non-existent. I mean, you think that's because of Alex Smith and what's happening with the quarterback situation, or what do you think has been the last 2 to 3 weeks with the quiet games out of Terry McLaurin?
I think it's definitely is a little bit of a couple of things. I think one definitely being Alex Smith's position. And I think it's also been a little bit of the game plan. And we talk about this. Find a way to get him.
He always said Haskins was out there playing baseball.
Off one leg. His footwork has not improved at all.
No, there was a couple of plays. His footwork looked good.
Yeah.
I don't
He
want to hear
definitely
like
look the same.
footwork
But he
is
does look
footwork,
like he
my
has
dude.
some talent. You know, he does have some talent. I just think he
Arm
needs to
talent.
find a way to just like hone it all in. And, you know, what he does bad, he needs to eliminate from his game. You know, you see him scrambling out the pocket. He be looking crazy throwing on the run.
Yeah.
Evan's talking right. McLaurin was so wide open.
Yeah.
Any three of us could have made that throw. And Haskins hit him, not only behind him, but like 5 yards. I mean, that was one of the worst throws I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was bad. Okay.
Yeah, you tell he ain't getting the reps too.
Yeah,
That's
and
for
that's
sure.
another thing too. Like he came on the bench but
He got 6 drives, bro. He got the whole second half, and he did not get better.
they didn't help him much either. You have to remember this too. If you go back and look at the game log, they were averaging about like 2 yards on first downs. Like gaining 2 yards on first downs on his
snaps on first downs. What are you talking
What's
about?
that?
Who was taking those snaps on first downs?
Dwayne Haskins was.
Yeah.
Okay, but
not on him.
Dwayne Haskins
You
is
got to see how many times they run the ball on
Yeah,
first down too.
I'm just
You know,
saying that you have to look.
factor that
Sometimes
in.
you have to look at the game in context, you know, and look at the field position that they were putting him in. There was definitely a little bit of disadvantage in the field position game during almost all of Dwayne Haskins, series. But
Hey, let me ask y'all something about Dwayne Haskins real quick, because I see some in the chat here, right? Comparing him to other rookie quarterbacks. Do you think that he's playing better? Let's take away Daniel Jones' first season, right? Daniel Jones' first season, he has no games where he did not throw a touchdown. He threw touchdowns in every game, right? This year, he has 2 lulls of 3 straight games with no touchdowns. That only happened to Eli Manning twice in his whole career as 15 years playing quarterback for the Giants, right?
straight too.
Do y'all think that Haskins was playing better ball than what Daniel Jones is playing right now?
At no point in Dwayne Haskins' career has he had one drive better than any of Daniel Jones' worst drives in his Giants career.
Daniel Jones' best drive of the year didn't even end in a touchdown, I feel like. It was that 98-yard drive, and I feel like we didn't even score on it.
Dwayne Haskins never looked to me like a professional quarterback, to be honest.
Facts, though. I will give you that. When you see him drop back to throw it, he looks more like a professional, but I'm talking about the output, you know?
No, he
You looking at 9 touchdowns on the year? Is it 10 or 9 touchdowns on the year?
Who? Dwayne Haskins?
Daniel Jones.
Okay, but look at his
But
rush
he's
yards, man.
played in a lot of games, you know?
Yeah, doesn't Dwayne Haskins have the same amount of touchdown passes as Daniel Jones?
He might. That's what I wanted to ask.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
bro. He's
Yes.
got maybe 4 touchdowns on the year. Let's
Okay, I might be wrong. I
Yeah,
thought he had.
he's because they yoked him early, remember?
Yeah, I thought he had. I think he has 4 or 5 touchdowns.
In his career, he has 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
He's got 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the year.
Yeah, 4 and 3, which, those look like, and in how many games? He has 990 yards, a 60.8 completion percentage. His rating is 79.4. I only asked because, I saw the question about rookie quarterbacks. He's at the bottom tier of it because Daniel Jones has took a major step back here, and I think Dwayne Haskins, with the right, it's kind of like what Giants fans have been saying about Daniel Jones. If you get the right weapons and you put all these right pieces around him, then he could look like a real good quarterback.
Yeah, he just,
Scotty's like, I'm done with Haskins.
Yeah, it's okay. So let's talk about the defense.
Let's get to it.
The defense is finally living up to its hype. Let's just be honest. Because Payne, Allen, Montez Sweat, Chase Young is the best front in all of the National Football League. There's no, I haven't said that before, but I feel like now they have started to this defense has really come alive. And Cameron Curl
Ballin'.
is better than Landon Collins.
Thank you for saying that, bro.
Yeah, it's just
better. He's a little better in coverage. Probably not as good a line.
And I kind
But
of
he
look back
also
on
makes
it.
good tackles too. He does.
I kind of look back on it like this too: is that they like the Apke situation should have never happened.
As far as they should have had Curl ahead of him, they play different positions though. DeShazer Everett's the backup.
But that's what I'm saying. That was my next thing is that like we have the 2 safeties that we have playing right now are the best 2 safeties, but it only took us
you're right.
almost a whole season
to
to
figure it out.
realize that.
And
and there's a
injury
lot of
line.
mistakes. Yeah, there's a lot of mistakes that Apke made that cost some big plays.
Then that's
against
what
the Washington defense.
Washington defense is a fluke because we have all those big plays we gave up, like 11 or 12 over 40. Like 9 of them bad boys were in the first 6 weeks of the season when it was.
And you know what's crazy is that this game was was big in the sense that, you know, there's a big difference when your defense plays really good for a whole game, right? And your offense scores a touchdown or your offense is moving the ball. But you know how difficult this is, and I know Giants fans know off of this last game, for your defense to play good the whole game when your offense is not playing good. Like the Giants defense saved them for
2 weeks at least.
I mean, and specifically in this game, like the Cardinals starting field position was like on the Giants 40-yard line for the entire like first 3 quarters of the game. And they held them time after time after time to a field goal, except for that one play where I don't know what happened to the defense with the tight end caught the mini Hail Mary in the back of the end zone.
Oh, yeah. Great throw, man. Kyler Murray was making some fantastic throws, man.
So, like, for me, this was a real standout game in that sense. And I think Chase Young groin is finally 100% healthy because I saw him do things in this game that were, I mean, you see him do something spectacular almost every game, right? But this game, it was the play where he dropped back into coverage and then came for the sack. I mean, that was phenomenal.
Yeah, and even the play where he scooped and scored, you know, he was on the opposite side of the play, man. And he made his way around the line. They did a stunt right off the break where he went inside. And he saw the play develop to his opposite side. And he got over there, man, scooped the ball and just gets going. Defense, I mean, the turnovers was the difference in this game, to be honest, because you look at the yardage and you look at the first down. San Francisco had 21 first downs to y'all 12 first downs. They dominated on offense, but they couldn't convert on third down. That was one of their biggest problems. They were 4-15 on third down. Y'all were 3 of 15. They out yardaged y'all by 100+ yards. You know, and running wise, they were averaging 4 yards a carry on 27 rushing attempts. They controlled the clock too. They wanted time of possession as well. But like
turnovers.
When you got a defense like that, it reminded me. I was telling Tim this off air too. It reminded me of that Miami game when Tua got his first start, and it was like Tua didn't have to do a thing because that Miami defense was all over the place. I want to say there was like 2 turnovers for scores and a punt return for a touchdown. My thing about this game going forward, though, with these next couple of games, I'm a little bit worried about is not having Antonio Gibson to really generate this offense. I don't know if you guys can go out and win 2-3 more games like this.
It's going to be tough for sure.
That's one more game like this, honestly. I mean, the defense cannot expect Chase Young and the defense to do what they
can't. The offense is going to have to step up for sure. But
take that away, we lose. It's 15-9. We lose that.
Yeah. Before we move on, though, I do gotta give props to Montez Sweat. I've been talking about it, you know, all year how much he has changed as a player, and he is such a freak of nature. And one of the biggest plays of the game was when San Francisco had the ball at the end of the game and they were driving and they converted on a third down for like 20 to 30 yards. And Montez Sweat just completely beat, what's his name? McGlinchey on the right tackle. What is it?
McGlinchey. You got it.
McGlinchey. Okay. Yeah, and he had to hold him. He had no choice. Nick Mullins was about to get destroyed, and he had to hold Montez Sweat. And even through the hold, Montez Sweat almost got to Mullins, but like, they completed that pass. It was a huge play, and it came back because of the holding. Like, those are the things that don't show up in a stat book that are crazy. Yeah. But and Allen and Payne, they played amazing too on the play that Chase Young picked up the fumble. That was Allen, right? I mix up sometimes, but that was Allen that swatted the ball out that caused the fumble. Yeah, I mean, was it Payne?
Oh, was it Payne?
Yeah. So, like, you know, it's just they're finally coming together. I mean, you have first-round draft picks all across that line, and they're playing out of their mind. And I couldn't be happier with the way that the defense performed. Dustin Hopkins missed a kick again, but he came through when the rest of the game.
You might have to address that going into next year, he might not be the guy. And I think Philadelphia got to address their kicker situation as well. I think he missed 2 in that game as well.
And that was an awful decision. Ron Rivera, 2 weeks in a row now, is putting our team in bad positions. That first half, you don't need to kick that field goal, man.
Right.
Punt the ball away. Your best player on offense right now is your punter.
Yeah.
If you have it at midfield or even like the other opponent's 40, kick the ball away, pin them back. Let your best offense, which is your defense right now, go to work. Make them go 90 yards. Don't kick. It's like you're putting your worst offensive player, your kicker, in a position where he's like, Coach, I'm not making this thing. When you can give Montez Sweat and Chase Young pin their ears back on the opponent's 5-yard line. Like, come on, man. It's an easy decision.
So let me ask you guys a quick question, okay? Do you play Alex Smith?
Do you play? The way you said that sounded like you were about to go to Herm Edwards.
Do you play Alex Smith not 100%, and so say he comes out looking like how he did this game? Because they said he could. They also said he could have came back in an emergency situation. But do you play Alex Smith if he's playing at that level? Like, say he has hit the wall physically, and he comes out and he plays and he goes 8 of 19 for 57 yards and an interception in the first half. Do you have no other choice without Antonio Gibson to turn the ball over to Dwayne Haskins?
Nah, I don't think you do that at this point of the year. If Alex Smith is healthy enough to play, you put him in the game. And I doubt he'll have a game this bad. I mean, San Francisco does have a pretty decent defense, man. That front is pretty nice, and they were putting some pressure on him all day. It was making him uncomfortable. You saw him throwing the ball outside of the pocket more than you ever see Alex Smith doing that, So I think you got to go with him moving forward. I feel the same way I felt about the Daniel Jones thing. If you see him in practice, you think he's healthy enough, then send him out there, man.
But see, this is the thing, too, is that they're only going to let him play limited during practice.
If you're talking about he's hit this wall, which we've talked about the episode, and I'm buying all the way in on that conspiracy thing. I believe that if he has hit that wall we've talked about, and he's not going to be able to continue, then you got to put Dwayne Haskins in.
I like that, Kev.
He can still lose a game or two, and we can make the playoffs, but you got to get him reps now, because clearly the lack of reps has not helped his progression. He looked a lot of the same mistakes. Footwork, accuracy, terrible.
Well, what did you like? Did you like the Haskins that you saw in the second half better than you liked the Alex Smith that you saw in the first half?
Honestly, bro, it's like
yeah. You got a quarter in your pocket, because that's
right.
Unplayable quarterbacks to win football games. Like, unless your defense does that, which is maybe 1 out of every 10
I was about to highlight that too. Hey, I'll get out there and make some plays, Waterfly. You know it. I'm telling you, I'll get out there and make some plays.
Open the playbook up and we're running that one back. Let's go.
Hey, give me a little RPO. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to need double tight,
Do you know what
tight ends out there?
Like in face? You got to see his jersey. Authentik's like, all right, where are the numbers at? I don't know y'all about face. Let me see your number. 17. Yeah, what's up? Let's talk.
All right.
Okay, let me ask you this then.
Yes, even at 37, I'll get out there. Hey, I be telling these fools, man, like, I think I'm in better shape now with sports than I was when I was younger, man. What? Y'all gonna see a little bit of Authentik versus the beard. Y'all gonna be like, oh, these boys kind of athletic. They kind of know what they doing out here.
Yeah.
Or you won't see it if they don't do that. But
nah, you gonna see it. You gonna see. Hey, I tell you what. For those of y'all that follow me on Twitter, I'm gonna post some stuff. I got some stuff in the bag already. I'm gonna post some stuff on the Twitter. I'm gonna do it in the morning.
The whole route tree.
Oh, yo, Scott, you already know. You already know, bro. Hey, I wish Shanti was in the chat right now, because he'd tell you all about the route tree. We used to just go out and just run routes just to stay in shape, man. I'm telling you, the boy fast. I think I could still run like a 4.59.
You don't want to get tackled by Chauncey in the open field, boy.
Now let's keep it 100. One tackle, and it's a wrap. They're going to have to bring the card out. It's a wrap for me. Yeah, it's a wrap. Straight up. I can't take one hit. I would not be able to take one hit.
I'm going down to Oakland Terrace. Like, I don't want that. I'm good. Can't have it.
I was stepping out of bounds out there. Yo, they was doing them turkey bowls back in the day, hitting all crazy, them young boys. I was like,
nah, yeah.
Pump y'all brakes.
Ben Balyu's nose was like up to his face.
Right.
Like, what's wrong with my eyebrow, bro? I was like, your eyebrow's cut, but your nose is
completely broken.
Like, what happened to my eyebrow, bro? Bigger problems, but he's got bigger problems. All right, we're doing it all night. Let's do it again. Playoff percentage for the Washington football team to make the playoffs. So give me a percentage. Authentik, we're starting with you.
All right, so I said 30 for the Giants.
Yes.
I'm going to go straight 30. Forget showing my work. I'm going 30 with Washington.
That's what I'm saying. I want you guys to do it that way, because there's still 3 games left, so it can change up, So it doesn't have to be 100, because there's a lot more variables than just one more game left.
Yeah, and I think with the tiebreaker, you could look at that like it's almost a half a game. What Washington has the advantage on here is that the schedule does not have many games left. So you're looking at just 3 more games. That works in y'all favor. Giants are going to have to go out here and beat one of these teams in the next 2 weeks here. And we saw both of them on display here on, what was that, Monday night? Was it the Monday night game, Browns versus Ravens?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, we saw them on display. Both those teams are hot right now. They're both playing really good football. I think the Ravens are very lucky to squeak out of that game with a victory, up by 2 touchdowns. And the Browns come back in that game with Baker looking like a true winner. That's what I like to see out of quarterback, and that's the one thing I do like about Baker Mayfield. He's got that winner asset to him that you could tell he's on the field and he really wants it.
Yeah, I mean, like we said earlier, even though Cleveland lost that football game, you got to feel good.
They kind of won in a little way.
Yeah, and shout out to Engraven Vids, man. I was looking at Engraven Vids live stream during that game, man, and talk about a roller coaster of emotions.
Oh my
man.
God, I can only imagine.
Yo, it was crazy. He was like on edge the whole second half, man. But that was a really great display of football on Monday night. I've been kind of not paying attention to a lot of Monday night games, and that game really made me go, man, I need to open up my eyes more to these Monday night games, because that might be the game of the year for me, man.
How did everyone in the chat start going to how you feel at a certain age? Like at 35.
Authentic, because Authentic was telling them about how we athletes at old age.
Yeah,
they're
and
not saying it's gonna be the weather at 40. You just feel it when you wake up. Like,
I know a lot of people at 40.
Now.
A lot of people at 40 feel that weather.
Every place I've had surgery, I feel when it gets cold
the
and
beard
rains.
be talking about that sciatica that he got all the time too. When we be done the podcast, he get up, he be
out of me.
Hey, and I mean, I was complaining about sleeping on my neck wrong today, too. I was like, I'm going to just go on the podcast and just tough it out. I ain't even going to lie,
Steve was like, man, I'm going to get all this pain out right now.
I was like this the whole time, dog.
And here with your New York Giants, man. You know what I mean? We out here.
Facts, bro. Facts, man.
What was your percentage, the beard?
I'm going to give the Washington football team a 59% chance of... Whoa. Let me backtrack. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to give us a 59% chance to win the division. And I'm going to give us a 73% chance to make the playoffs.
The beat was perfect for that right there. That was so good. I feel like some of these cuts, I got to go back and like check.
I never liked you, man. I never liked you.
I'm going to give Washington football team 51% chance. I gave the Giants 49.
I like that.
It's even split, but I like Washington's schedule a little bit more. But if Alex Smith's going to look like he did in the first half, Washington's right there with the Cowboys.
I need one thing from you, Scotty Boomz. I need our records for the season.
Oh, yeah.
Stop asking me on Tuesdays. It's
Thursdays. You do ask that on Tuesdays a lot.
It's
but
on
you went up 2 more
okay.
games. You went up 2 more games this week, so you're going to have a 4-game lead, I think.
Okay.
Hey, why is the beard always pressing me out, man?
You know when I'm on top, I like to hear it.
Right,
I was going to pause that or something. I don't know.
Pause.
Oh, Marjorie, I definitely agree with you on that. We definitely need a better backup quarterback. We got to address that in the offseason.
Me and Cole McCoy's undefeated. I don't love Cole McCoy.
Cole McCoy ain't it, man. Because when you got a team like this, you really need a playmaker.
Yeah, you guys have some definite NFC East rejections over there.
All the way. All right, let's get them out of here. I know entertainers are going live right now. Giants fans are going to get over there.
Let's definitely get over there.
Send them off right.
Shout out to everybody that watched us tonight on the YouTube.
That man almost took my eardrum out of that jump.
Shout out to everybody tonight that watched us on the YouTubes, the Twitch, Periscope, Facebook. We appreciate.
I wonder if that ever happens in like the headsets for the coaches. Somebody just OD loud.
What's going? Dude, I don't know if you guys saw Alex Smith on the sideline during the game. He was like, when he was on the bench, he was listening to the plays on his helmet like this.
Yeah, they do that a lot. Yo.
So,
hey, shout out Kid Blue. He was talking about the hub going to be live too after this. So if you got 2 tabs open on your browser, keep one open for the hub, keep one open for the entertainer talking sports. I'm going to be in both of them. Sometimes I listen to 2 streams at one time with both the volume up, multitasking like a mug. Let's get it.
Bro, I'm not going to lie to you. I do 3 at a time sometimes. So I do.
He said, Paul.
I'll watch 3 card breaks and I'll have 2 on my computer and 1 on my phone at the same time.
You got to multitask, man.
Yeah, man. That's the only way we get by on our own, man.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like my worst nightmare of all time. Authentic, man. Send them off right before we get them out of here.
Hey, man. Appreciate Giants Nation showing up and showing out, man. I mean, with a loss like that, you would think it would just be completely dead here on the stream today, man. Definitely appreciate y'all pulling up. And we starting to see a little bit more Washington fans in the mix now that Washington is putting themselves in the driver's seat of this playoff race here. But it's going to be interesting to see it go down, man. I think if the Giants can't win this game next week, or if Washington can go in and somehow shock the world and beat the Arizona Cardinals, it's going to be a lot of trouble in New York here, man. I think our playoff chances are slowly but surely just leaking away like a bad hole in a tire. But just appreciate everybody, man, one more time, man. And make sure to check us out on Thursday. I think Thursday's preview show is going to be one of the best ones, man. We already are at Week 15 preview. This is crazy. The season is flying by. And I want y'all to stay tuned as well, man. Awthentik and the Beard and my man Scotty, we're working on the game show. That should be, I'm hoping next Saturday we can make that happen on a Saturday night. So, man, stay tuned, man, for all the content we got that we're going to be pumping out, man. We appreciate y'all again.
This L is not for losers. This is for loyalty because, like Awthentik was just saying, we know the Giants had a tough loss, but you guys really carried this channel for us so far. We love the support. We're glad y'all back tonight. Check us out on Thursday for our preview show for the upcoming week. Thanks again for tuning in. Tuesday night recaps. Have a beautiful evening. Best division in football. Peace out.
This one. Salute, salute, salute.